No, little G, it starts now. I have to put a time on, so that's why I had to put a time on. So it's just you have to put a time, and I don't know what time, so it was like a rough guess, saying 5:15. That's all. So we're going live now, right? Let me find the actual trial. No woman, no cry. I. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thanks to Sarah P as well for all the links and everything. Thank you very much. Bum, ba, bum, bum, ba. Bum, ba, bum, bum, ba. Ba, 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 ba. Right, here we go. Leilani Simon. I just need to find it. No woman, no cry. Hi, hi, hi. Here we go. I got it. All right, I need to go to the Zoom start. No, is this the right one? I am not sure. The fuck is this? 3 hours ago. What was 3 hours ago? Hello, Vixie. How you doing? 3 hours ago would be. Hmm. So I'm just worried. Is there anything? Law Crime Network. Hang on. Let me go back. The. No, it is the right one. Okay. Okay, we're not that far behind. Right, okay, we're about 3 hours behind. Um, I'm very good, thank you very much. How you keeping? Because Vixie, I know you went through with the divorce and everything. I hope you're okay though. Oh, child abduction. All right, let me find the right spot. That's what we said. That's what she said. Dee 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 dee. Right, we're about 2 hours behind. It's not too bad. Oh, breaking news. Kathy Runson says there are 54 qualified jurors for the Sarah Boone case. Um, Tomorrow will be motions. Tomorrow afternoon, the state will vote Vordia, the 54. Then Thursday, the defense will Vordia them, looking to see 6 jurors and 8 alternates. And opening statements possibly will start Thursday afternoon um, or Friday morning. Looks likely. There you go. Okay, sorry, I did mean divorce. I meant the separation. Sorry, yeah. Um, Roy, if you're ready, again, thank you, Sarah P, for doing all that stuff with the links. Right. There we go. Put that on there. Put that on there. Put that down there. Hey, Dennis Sweeney, look at Dennis there. Dennis is there. D. 1.5 speed, like that's the way I like it. 1.5 speed. Right, here we go, everybody. Strap in, put it in, pull it out, shake it all about. Here you go.
The state of Georgia versus Leilani Marie Simon. Let the record reflect that Ms. Simon is present at council table with her attorneys, Martin Hilliard and Robert Purse. The state's attorneys are present, AUSA.
They've driven down here with the hope of testifying this afternoon. And if we don't reach them, they're going to drive back. They don't have lodging. And so in order to prevent their having to drive down from Augusta again tomorrow morning, I might ask at some point, probably will ask at some point, to break during Detective Lemon's direct examination, probably between interviews, and take testimony from them just so we can get them up and down, and then resume our direct examination after that. Doesn't seem like it should be a problem from my perspective because I imagine the cross-examination might extend into tomorrow anyway. But I've talked to Mr. Hilliard about it. I don't think he has an objection, but I'll let him speak for himself.
I don't really object to it, Judge. I kind of expected them to go the rest of the day, right? So if we stop and break and do these two little, what I call kind of administrative witnesses along the way, I don't see what's going to change anything. The only thing I would ask is if it goes a little bit further into the day, I may want to continue my cross-examination tomorrow with lemons rather than have to stop and then resume again tomorrow.
I
So,
understand.
so we'll deal with that when we get to it. That's the first question. The second question was, I just want to check and make sure, because I think tomorrow's the judge's meeting. So are we going to resume at 9 tomorrow or 10? Okay. That's all, just for schedule.
So I think it's a good practical consideration for us to resume with Detective Lemons, stop where we need to for the 2 FBI agent witnesses that you have this afternoon.
Thank you.
And if cross-examination needs to begin tomorrow, then we'll deal with that. But as these things go, they have their own flow. So we will see what that is. All right, please bring in the jurors. Able to follow the court's instructions.
Now, when we left off before lunch, we had come to the end of what's in evidence as lactation room first video. How many video files did you film on your phone from that single interview?
Whoa, you just said we ended before lunch. So hang on, there must be another one then. Hang on, let me have a look because on Law and Crime, this is the only video there. Let me take a look because I don't want to miss anything, obviously. Just in case. So record TV then, just in case. Yeah, no, this is the wrong one. This is the wrong one. So for some reason, Law and Crime don't have the morning session at all. So they don't have the morning session. So we just go to Court TV. They have the full day on, which is fine. But yeah, Law and Crime don't have it. So here we go then. Let me just find Law and Crime. No, sorry, Court TV. They start a little bit later as well, but it'll do. It's close enough. So here we go. So 1.5. Right, we're ready. Hey, Josie. Remember to like, please like the
Later on
screen.
that night, I took overall photos of the outside of the residence and the inside of the residence.
So there was initially a period shortly after your arrival where you took a few pictures of the pack and play.
Yes, sir.
And then you backed out.
Yes, sir.
And took many more photographs later.
Yes, sir.
And was that after a search warrant had been obtained for the residence?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many pictures did you take total, if you remember?
A lot.
Would it refresh your memory to look
Yeah,
at
let me
the
look at
report?
this real quick. On that day, I took 475 photos.
In the course of taking those photographs and walking around the residence, did you have an opportunity to examine the front door?
Yes,
Did there appear to be any signs of forced entry or anything like that?
there did not.
Did you see anywhere in the house any obvious signs of a struggle?
I did not.
Do you see in front of you an exhibit marked as States Exhibit 10?
I'm sorry, what did you?
States Exhibit 10?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you lead through that and tell us what that is? You don't have to necessarily look at every picture.
This is the photo from the first day.
Is that all of them or just this selection?
Just a selection.
What is, going off the number here, what is the total number of images? Look at the last page.
114.
All right, now, do those images fairly and accurately depict the residents and the surrounding area as you photographed it that day?
Yes, sir.
Do they appear to have been altered or modified in any way?
They do not preview.
Your Honor, I would move States Exhibit 10 into evidence at this time.
Having reviewed, judge, no objection.
State Exhibit number 10 is submitted.
And I would ask to publish this exhibit to the jury.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Now, this is photograph number 1 of State's Exhibit 10. Can you tell us what this is?
This is a photo log. It gives our case number, the location signal, which is the crime or what we're responding to, who went to it, the date of it, and then the time approximately we arrived. We put this at the beginning of all of our photos, so you kind of get a summary of what you're about to look at.
Now, moving on to image 2, what is this?
This is the front of the residence. I'm standing on Buckhalter looking towards the front of the residence.
Now, can you see the front door in this image?
Yes, sir.
And where is it?
It's all the way to the left, right behind the green chair.
Okay, is that what that is? There a green chair?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and is that like a little small patio area outside the front door?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Moving on to the next image. Well, let me ask you this: are there any other doors on the front?
There are no other doors on the front.
Were there any doors on the sides of the house?
No, sir.
Okay. There are other doors on the back,
Yeah,
correct?
there's 2 in the back.
Okay. So 3 total exterior doors on this house.
Yes, sir.
Moving to image 3, where are we now? Where have we moved?
So I moved further down Buckhalter just to get a different angle of the front of the house and the side.
And 4, where are we here?
4, I am at the end of the property line, further, I believe it's west of their yard, looking towards pretty much the front and the back of the house.
Okay. Now, is that there, the driveway for 535 Buckhalter that you see there?
Yes, sir.
And where are we now?
Now I'm standing at the edge of the driveway looking into the backyard.
And there's a truck here, right?
Yes, sir. I believe that belonged to the son,
The son, you said?
or brother.
Now, in image 6, where have we moved here relative to that last image where we were standing behind the truck?
I'm in front of the truck at the gate entering into the backyard.
And what do we see off to the right there?
There's a detached carport with an RV, a white truck, and an SUV.
Are you referring to the white SUV more or less in the middle of the frame?
Yes, sir.
Now, this next image, how have we moved or changed our position relative to the last image?
So I had just panned right and started taking photos of the fence line.
Okay, so you've made a 90-degree turn to the right, and this is just the front corner of the yard.
Yes, sir.
The next image,
I'm starting to pan left. You can see the carport on your left-hand side from the previous pictures.
and in image 9, still panning left.
Yeah, still panning left.
Image 10
Continuing to pan left.
and image 11.
Image 11, continue to pan left. Just got some more vehicles in the trash cans and starting to get the side of the house.
Can you see my cursor on the screen? Pointer?
Yes.
All right. What is this here?
Those are 3 trash cans.
And what is that structure that they appear to be sitting on?
It's just a wooden structure that they built, I believe, to keep the trash cans in.
All right. When you began taking pictures, were those trash cans closed?
Yes, sir.
Moving on to image 12. Where are we here? What movement have we made? Where are we looking?
So I made my way around. I'm at the back edge of their property now I'm looking towards the, I guess, back of the house, towards the street.
Okay. So you just moved to the back of the property line and you're looking back the way you just come from.
Yes, sir.
Image 13.
I have moved to the right a little bit more.
We're talking about kind of a side step along the back fence.
Yeah, just a little distance.
Okay. And we can still see that white SUV on the left-hand side of the frame
Yes, sir.
and 2 other vehicles in the center there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is this structure on the right-hand side?
That is a detached barn or garage.
A detached garage?
Sure.
Okay. So far in terms of structures, we talked about the house itself, right? There was the detached kind of carport with the RV in it.
Yes, sir.
And now we're looking at a detached garage in the back as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In image 14, where have we moved relative to the last image?
Further right, this is just kind of the side of the garage, and there's also a carport attached to that garage.
Is this the back side of the garage, the furthest side away from the house itself?
Yes, I'm still on the property line.
And what are we seeing there on the side of the garage?
2 trailers, a car, and some tools and ladders in the background.
Okay, so is there like a carport that extends off the back side of the garage?
Yes, sir.
And is that what that car is under?
Yes, sir.
Now, where are we here relative to the last photo?
The back property line, and then I guess you'd say the far right from where I'm standing, property line looking towards the street. The garage is on my left, and the house is a little bit further on my left.
So is it fair to say that relative to the last image, you just sidestep further to your right, to where your right shoulder is basically along the fence that bounds the
Yes,
property? Okay. Now, what is that in front of us beyond the detached garage? What are we looking at there?
There's a pull up here, and those are a couple like fire pits.
A pool, did you say?
Yes, sir.
Okay, a couple fire pits. And is that area where we're going to go next?
Yes, sir.
All right, what movement have we made here?
I just traveled down the fence line. Garage is now on my left. Poles on my right. If you look at the bottom, you can see the fire pit.
Oh, I see. Is that what's at the bottom of the frame?
So I'm standing right next to the fire pits, looking towards the detachable carport.
Okay, and then is that the RV we see off in the distance?
Yes, sir.
So essentially, you just kind of made a loop around the detached garage.
Yes, sir.
Moving on to number 17. What are we doing here? Just panning to the right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is that area that we see on the other side of the pool from where we are right now on the
It's
back side of the house. Can you just describe that area there?
like a covered patio area.
Okay, what's in it?
There's like a little seating area, and if you go towards the, I guess you would call it a carport, attached carport, there's a little children's play area back there.
Children's play area?
Yes, sir.
Moving to 18, we just panned all the way to the right here.
Yes, sir.
In 19, what are we looking at here? That seating area
Yes, sir.
beyond the pool.
Beyond the pool. And the barn is behind you at this point, or not the barn, but the garage.
Now, in image 20, where are you standing? Where have you moved now as you take this picture?
So I am in the underneath the patio in the little seating area, like right in the middle of the seating area, facing I'd be facing the carport if that's a good point of reference.
All right, so you've gone across, you look on the other side of the pool from where you were in the last image, and you're standing in that seating area.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is the house on the right here.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned earlier that there was one exterior door on the front, none on the sides, and 2 on the back.
Yes, sir.
Are those 2 on the back visible in this image?
Yes.
Can you tell us where they are?
The white door on the right-hand side, that's the dining room door. And if you look a little bit further past it, there's a little dark area. That's the living room door.
Can you kind of step down and just point to where the living room door is in this picture? All right, so it's right beyond that play gate, I suppose?
Yes, sir.
On the right side of it?
Yes, sir.
And that opens into the living room.
Yes, sir.
Number 21, where are we here? What are we looking at?
I just moved forward. There's the dining room door with you to my right, and I'm looking into the play area.
Okay, so that dark bit we can see on the far right side of the frame, is that part of the frame of the dining room door there?
No, that would
Or I mean
be
the living room door?
yes, sir.
Okay. 22,
Just inside of the play area. You got a couch, a little trampoline, slides, like or kid toys.
and 23.
This is from the back of the play area, looking towards the patio.
Okay, now, this area right here in the far side of the frame, is this up here the seating area that we were initially in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is this dark structure in towards the top left?
It's like maybe a little bar.
Okay. Now, where are we here?
Here, I have just moved over to the right a little bit. I'm kind of standing in front of the trampoline, pointing towards the doors to enter the home.
And can we see the living room door and the dining room door in this picture?
Yes, sir.
All right, living room door being the dark one towards the top center,
Yes, sir.
and the dining room door being the white ones off to the right.
Yes, sir.
Now, does that pretty much cover the exterior of the house?
Yes, sir.
No, it's not unplugged. This is- If there were a better place to plug it in and right at somebody's feet, we would do it.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Is it on that side?
When I drop my water, I have to apologize.
Apologies needed.
Okay, so here we are at the front door, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that was 25 and 26, we just moved a little bit closer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, before we're about to go into the house, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me ask you this. You walk through that house.
Yes, sir.
How would you describe the layout in a word?
Clustered.
A cluster?
I feel like that's
Okay, go. Was it confusing?
It's very confusing.
Do you see in front of you an exhibit marked as State's Exhibit 9?
Yes.
What is that?
This is, I guess, the internet layout of the home.
Okay. Now, you've been in the house and you've had the chance to walk through it. Other than where the front door is denoted as being on there, does that fairly and accurately depict the general layout of the first floor of this residence?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I would move this into evidence as State's Exhibit 9.
Okay, real quick, Judge.
And may I publish, Your Honor? Okay.
Do you have to say it looks like there's a door leading from the kitchen to the room. That door's not there.
Okay, well, let's do it this way. Can you step down? Well, okay, if you sit there, I'll come up. We're just going to work through these rooms, starting at the front door and going more or less clockwise. Okay. The front door, first of all, is labeled as being right here. Is that accurate?
No, that's a window.
All right. Is the front door kind of in the top right-hand corner here?
Yes, sir.
All right. When you walk in, what is this first room on the far right?
That's like a living room, bedroom area.
Now, you mentioned that there's a spot on here where it looks like there's a door from that room into the kitchen, but it is not in fact a door. Can you come down and describe what you're talking about?
This area right here, that is a wall.
Okay. And so is it the case that when you were in that room that day, you cannot pass through there into the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. And why is that? Just so I understand.
I guess they walled it off,
Okay.
or it appeared to be walled off.
All right. Do you have something to write with in front of you there? And I didn't ask you to bring it, so if you don't, that's okay.
Thank
you. Can you, on that exhibit, can you just draw an X at the spot that you were just talking about as appearing to be a door, but not actually being a door?
Let's try again. Use this one instead, that's better. And just for the record, I handed the detective a pen, and I handed him a Sharpie, because I think that would be better.
Thank you. All right. So how do you get from this room into the main body of the house?
From the front door, you have to walk through the whole room.
What else?
From the front door, you have to walk through the whole room, go through the door here, at least to the bathroom, and then you'll enter the dining room. From here, you have to go through this door to go through the kitchen, and then this door to go into a hallway, and then from down here, you can go up the stairs right here, or go through another door to the main, or it's the master living room, and then another door to go to the master bedroom.
Can you do this with that Sharpie that you have in front of you? Can you, go slow, make sure you do it right. I want this to be in the record. Can you draw the path that one would have to take through the house to go from the front door? Not on the screen.
I'm not-
But yeah, show us again on the screen and then draw the path, please. To go from the front door to the living room door.
Front door, you walk through, you have to go through this door, go through a bathroom, another door to go through the kitchen, another door to go through, dining room, another door to go through the kitchen, through a hallway, either upstairs to 2 bedrooms, or through another door to go to the master living room, and then another door to go to the master bedroom.
What about the living room door?
Living room doors right here, and then the dining room door is right here.
All right. So let's just take a moment. Can you, on the paper exhibit, can you draw a path from the only path, as you described it, from the front door to the living room door? Not the dining room door, not upstairs, but the living room door.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Now, so you said that front door, top right, bedroom, bathroom, dining room, kitchen, hallway, living room, master bedroom, right?
Sure.
Okay. I want to ask you a couple things, and I'm doing this because the pictures are a little confusing. Fair to say.
Yes, sir.
Can you come down and describe to us what parts of the kitchen we're seeing in this image? Where are the sinks?
So coming from the dining room, you will have your stove and your oven right here on your right. Your sinks are here, refrigerators right here, and you have a little pantry here. There's a pass-through window leading into the hallway right here above the sink.
Okay. Thank you very much.
What?
All right, with that, we can get back into the images, okay? All right. 27, where are we standing as this picture is taken, and what are we looking at?
So I am at the doorway, looking into the room all the way down the far left wall.
And what's in the foreground closest to us?
There's a couch, and then, or I guess that was a kid bed too,
Say again.
a child's bed.
The child's bed is where?
The couch.
Okay. And what's just beyond the couch?
There is a baby swing. Beyond that is a desk, and then there's a bed in the far back corner.
And what is that to the right of the bed?
Dresser.
28, where have we moved relative to the last image?
I've just panned right a little bit. So you'll see the dresser, the full dresser. There's a closet door, and then another kid bed on the right hand side.
29,
Pan right a little bit more. You'll see the kid bed, a dresser, a projector screen, and that's where the that door would have been on the previous picture.
the door that you mentioned as having been walled off and not operational, that's behind the projector screen.
Yes, sir.
And then 30, where are we here?
That is the pack and play that I mentioned earlier.
31
The pillow inside the pack and play.
and 32.
Again, the pillow inside the pack and play.
Now I'm going to zoom in on this picture a little bit. Do you see that substance there?
Yes, sir.
Did you get a good look at it while you were out there?
I did, sir.
And did it? What, if anything, did it appear to you to be?
I believe it to be vomit.
Okay. Did it appear to be blood?
It didn't.
Okay.
It's a lot redder in that picture than it actually was.
You're saying it's appearing redder on the screen than
Yes,
it actually was when you were out there?
Yes, sir.
Did not appear to be blood.
No.
Did you do any testing at any point to determine whether it was blood?
I did not.
33, another picture of the same.
Another picture. The blanket is out because we searched the pack and play after the picture.
Now, let me actually go back. Okay, so in 34, where is that pink blanket?
It is around 34. It's on the, I guess you call it the rail with the side.
Now I want to go back to, pardon me, to 31. I'm on 31. Where's the pink blanket in this picture?
It's inside the pack and play on the pad.
All right, so we've got some pictures where the pink blanket is in the pack and play and some where it's on the rail.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us when it was moved and why?
It was moved due to, or I guess it was moved when we were looking for, see if there's any blood on the inside the pack and play.
Okay,
And
so
then we just moved it to look at the blanket itself and to look at the map.
thank you. Did you have gloves on when you did that?
Yes, sir.
Moving on to 35, just another view of the pack and play after the blanket has been moved.
Yes, sir.
36, same.
Same.
All right, 37, where are we here?
My back is towards the pack and play, and I'm looking towards the bed in the far left corner.
So you're essentially standing at the pack and play here.
Yes, sir.
38,
38, I just pan left, same spot.
39,
39, pan left. You can see the front door in the left side, the couch, and then there's a safe and a projector on the window back there.
40,
40, at the desk, looking towards the front door. You can see the street in the background.
41,
I have pan left, front doors on the right, pack and play, and the projector screen. Continue moving to the left.
43,
Oh, sorry. Pan to the left even more, kid's bed, and the closet door.
44,
Just continue painting.
and 45, what are we looking at now?
45, that's the, I guess, the entrance into the rest of the house. That's the bathroom right there. You can see the dresser right there on the left-hand side.
All right, and then what is this through that door that I'm,
Just a little
like-
storage cabinet.
all right, that's inside the bathroom?
Yes, sir.
46
Pan to the left a little bit more. You can see the bed now and the dresser.
and 47.
Just a view of the bed.
All right, 48, where are we?
48, I am by the bed and the dresser looking into the bathroom.
49,
Starting to take photographs into the bathroom. This is the little storage cabinet from the previous photos.
and is that on your left as you walk in?
Yes, sir.
50,
Starting to pan right, that's the door leading into the dining room. And you can start seeing the shower bathtub on your right.
we can see those dining room doors that you were talking about earlier through the door. We're looking
Yes,
at.
sir.
51,
Just continue panning to the right. Now you can see the shower bath.
52,
That's the shower. I'm starting to make my way around the bathroom.
53,
Continue panning right. You got a sink and a mirror.
and 54.
54. This is above the toilet. The toilet's at the bottom. Then you got a little storage shelf.
Now, I'd like to zoom in on this storage shelf here. See that little bottle with the blue, red, and yellow label? What is that?
Llandysul.
Do you know what Llandysul is?
It's a oral pain relief.
Okay. Something like a liquid you rub on your gums or teeth to relieve temple pain?
Yes, sir.
Now 55, where are we here?
55. We're at in the bathroom, looking into the dining room. The dining room door from the previous photos is on the left, and then you have a little dog cage and then dining room table on your right.
56,
Just panning through the dining room. You can start to see the kitchen entrance door or entrance on your right hand side.
57,
57. The dining room doors are right behind me, looking into the kitchen through the dining room.
58,
Continue panning right. That's a little storage closet, and you have a deep freezer.
still in the dining room here.
Still in the dining room.
And 59, where have we moved and what are we looking at?
So I have moved around. The kitchen entrance is to my left. I'm in that corner, and I'm looking towards the bathroom door, and you can see the dining room door on the very right of the picture.
All right, so that dark wood door in the middle that we're looking at is the door that you came through to get into the dining room?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then the white door on the right is the door to the outside that
Yes, sir.
we call the dining room door. 60,
Now I'm on the other side of the dining room or the kitchen door. The closet is going to be on my left, and then you can see the edge of the bathroom door that I came through, and now you can see the dining room door leading outside.
61, you just pan to the right a little more.
Yes, sir.
62, same.
Same.
63, same.
Same.
And 64, where are we at?
64. We are in the kind of doorway and looking into the kitchen from the dining room.
And can we see the sinks in this picture?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned there's something that you called a pass-through window over the sinks. Is that at least partially visible in this picture?
Yes, sir. If you look at the looks like pill bottles, right behind that is just the pass through. There's an open window right before you get to those pill bottles.
Kind of an unusual feature of the house.
I think so.
65, where are we here?
Back, I'm still at the doorway. I just kind of pan left. You can start to see the oven and the stove
And that stove is on sort of a peninsula that juts out into the kitchen.
Yes, sir.
66, where are we now?
So now I'm on the, you can see the doorway entering the kitchen from the dining room.
That's on the right there. That's the door you came through.
Yeah, and then the oven and the stove are now on my left.
Okay. So you stepped into the kitchen and turned around, basically.
Yes, sir.
67.
Continue or panning left from the same position. You can stove and then a little storage closet.
And 68, where are we here?
68. The stove. Kind of from that picture earlier, I went around the stove and I'm on the other side of the refrigerator, looking towards the sink, and then you can see the little pass-through window from there.
What's that in the bottom right corner? Or I'm sorry, bottom left corner of the image?
That's the trash can.
And was that trash can full?
Yes, sir.
69,
Just pan to the left a little bit, same spot.
70.
Continue to pan left.
And what's that on the left side that we're seeing there?
That's the pantry,
And 71.
and the full pantry.
72.
Continue to pan left for the pantry.
All right, 73, what are we looking at here? Where are we going?
So I am closer to the pantry now, and this is the doorway into that little L-shaped hallway.
74.
I'm just looking through the little doorway into the L-shaped hallway. The white door on the right is another little storage closet pantry thing.
And that's out in the hallway.
Yes.
All right, 75, where have we moved? What are we looking at?
I am in the hallway now. The opening to go into the kitchen will be on my right, and this is the little storage closet that I had in the previous picture with the door.
Just in case anybody's dizzy or confused at this point, I'm pulling up this diagram. Can you just come down and point with where you are at this point in time, which direction you're looking?
Right now, I will be right here.
Okay. So the hallway in the top center of State's Exhibit 9.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 76.
Pretty much I've done a 180, and now I'm looking down the hallway.
77.
I've walked through the previous opening, look left. The doorway in front of you is the doorway leading into the living room. On the left-hand side is the opening to go from the kitchen. And then on the right, very right-hand side, you can start seeing the stairwell that goes upstairs.
So you're looking down the hallway that's on the other side of that pass-through window over the sink.
Yes.
78.
Move closer to the living room opening. The opening or the kitchen opening will be on my left, and that stairwell will be on my right.
79.
A little bit further, starting to get into the living room.
And can you describe that piece of furniture that we're looking at there?
It's that one of those. It's a couch, like an L-shaped couch.
Okay. 80.
Into the living room, starting to pan to the right, getting the full living room. You got a big entertainment system, and the L-shaped couches on the left. So
Now 81. Where have you moved here?
this I am behind the couch. I just saw that other picture. Kind of between the front door and the laundry room area.
82. Where are you here?
I'm on the other side of the couch, looking towards the front door. That big TV entertainment thing would be behind me.
And what is the living room door?
I'm sorry,
partially visible?
living room door. Yeah, the very right, you'll see the living room door.
Okay. Is it the blue thing or is it beyond that?
Beyond that, it's the white door with the colors on it. I don't know if y'all can see that in that picture. Far right.
Is it right here?
Yes, sir.
83.
83, I've pan left from the view of the front door, and now you can see the little laundry area.
84.
Continue to pan left.
Now zooming in here in the middle, is this the hallway that you came through to get in
Yes, sir.
to the room in the first place?
Yes, sir.
And what have we done here?
So I have pan left all the way, and then this is the doorway to go into the master bedroom.
Now, did you go in the master bedroom?
I did.
And did you take pictures in there?
Did.
Is there a bathroom in there as well?
There, sir.
Did you take pictures of all of that?
Yes, sir.
Where are we here? In 86?
This is going back into the hallway that I entered the living room from.
All right. And what are we looking at in the top middle of the frame?
Top middle is the pass-through for the kitchen.
87, where are we here?
I've pan left and starting to get pictures of the staircase.
88,
The staircase to go upstairs.
89. When you get to the top of the stairs here at the landing,
To your left is a bedroom. Straight ahead of you is a bathroom, and then to your right is another bedroom.
90.
This is entering the bedroom on the left-hand side.
Okay, the left as you're looking up the stairs.
Yes, sir.
91.
This is the view into the bedroom from the doorway. You have a closet door on your right. The bed was kind of at an angle.
92.
This is from a view from that closet door I mentioned previously, looking towards the other closet.
93,
No, just continue the painting left.
94,
Pan left even more. You see a little L-shaped couch, little seating area right there.
and 95.
This is from the other side of the room, and that's the door I entered to come into the room.
Okay, so you just walk in the room to the far side and turn around. 96, where are we here?
This is the view from the bedroom I'm in across the hall into the next bedroom.
97,
This is from the doorway looking right. You can see a, oh, I can't remember what that was, kind of like a little dresser thing. There's a little closet door, and you can see a start of a children's bed.
all right, so you just stepped into the doorway for the other bedroom upstairs.
Yes, sir.
Turn to the right,
Now,
98,
now I panned a little bit left. You can see the bed. You can see another mattress on the floor.
99,
99, pan left a little bit. You can see a crib and a closet in this one.
100,
I've stepped into the room. I'm on the right wall looking towards the closet, panning to the left.
what is all this stuff over here?
A bunch of clothes and toys, I believe.
Did this room appear to be being used, or did it appear to be something more like a spare room or a storage room?
It didn't appear to be used at this point in time.
101 is, are we looking here at the door that you came in?
Yes, sir.
And is on the left side, is this that
So like,
dark wood piece of furniture that we saw earlier?
yes, sir.
And 102, where are we?
My back is towards the bunk bed, looking at the wall across. You can see the door I entered on the right hand side.
All right, 107, where are we?
That is the detached garage outside.
Now, the car park with the RV under it, or the garage with the door on it?
This is the garage with the door.
Are we still looking at the garage here in 108?
Yes, sir.
109, another picture of the garage?
Yes, sir.
And what is that right there in, on the floor of the garage? in 109?
That's a stuffed Mickey Mouse toy, a little racing suit.
Thank you. 110, were these the trash cans that we saw there earlier on outside in that rack?
Yes, sir.
Did you guys take them out of the rack, open them up, and see what was in them?
Yes, sir.
Just trash?
There were some other items in there. We had a pillow, a red rag, and some documentations, and a welcome home mat.
111,
111. This is the Dodge Journey that was parked outside the garage. Or
could you just read the tag into the record?
TEN 9300
Georgia?
Georgia tag.
112, what are we looking at here? What is that?
These were items taken out of the trash can in the kitchen.
Okay. So y'all look in the garbage, see what's in there?
Yes, sir.
Normal household garbage?
For the most part.
113,
These are receipts that they located in the garage or the trash can.
Cheddar's Restaurant,
Yes, sir.
and then in 114, some other trash. All right. So, after the 5th, were you involved in processing and photographing some other evidence?
Yes, sir.
Did you photograph the Dodge Journey?
Yes, sir.
And where did that take place?
FBI Savannah.
And how did the vehicle get from 535 Buckhalter to the FBI Savannah office?
It was towed.
Do they have a secure lot there that they can hold vehicles in?
Yes, sir.
And when did you search the Journey?
That would be on the 6th.
6th of October?
Yes, sir.
And you took photographs of it when you did that?
Yes, sir.
Do you see in front of you a document marked as Stacy Exhibit 11?
Yes, sir.
Can you look through this and tell us whether that is a selection of the photographs that you took of the Journey?
Yes, sir.
Is it that? The document in front of you, is that the selection? of
Yes,
photographs of the Journey? Is it, do those photographs fairly and accurately depict the vehicles that appear to you on stage?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I would offer this in as Stacy Exhibit 11.
Objection.
All right. First image in Stacy Exhibit 11 is on the screen. Can you tell us what this is?
Again, this is the photo log that we put at the beginning of all of our photos. The case number, the location where I was at, 2003 Chatham Center Drive. Signal was still missing child. I was still the investigator. The date was 10/6/22 and time was approximately 16:14.
4:14 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Those of us on 12-hour time.
Yep.
All right, slide 2, what are we looking at?
This is the view of the front of the Journey.
Slide 3,
The driver's side front,
4,
driver's side,
5,
the rear,
6,
passenger side rear,
7,
passenger side, and just kind of panned to the right and got the rest of the passenger side.
Okay.
Passenger side front.
9,
This is the driver's side door open.
10.
Nope, sorry. 10. That's
Yeah,
the
go
driver's
on the
side.
screen with me, so you can see it.
That's the driver's side door.
11.
Driver's seat and the floor area. That's some trash on the floor. Yeah, two alcohol bottles and like a little wooden skewer.
What's this alcohol bottle here?
Fireball,
And then this other one here is something called
curveball.
curveball. Do you know what that is?
Not 100% sure. I think it was whiskey, something like that.
13.
That's still the driver's side steering wheel, and you can see the gear shifter. That's the driver's side rear door.
All right, I just got to declare the record, we're on 14. That's the rear driver's side door.
Yes, sir. This
15.
is looking into the back seat from the driver's side.
16.
This is the rear of the vehicle with the hatch open.
Now, this whitish substance, is that something that you all put in there?
No, we did not put that.
Was it already in there when you opened the car up?
Yes, sir.
And had you in fact seen it at the scene the day before the 5th?
The trunk?
Yeah, I mean, had you seen through the window that there's some stuff in there?
Yes.
Okay. So this was in there during a police response?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, there's not something that got in there between the 911 call, or at least between police arrival and your photographing car?
Yes, they have.
You know what it was?
Not 100% sure.
Oh shit! Just to let you know, there is a witness in the other trial, so we will be shit. Sorry, I'm gonna back up now. We will be watching it tomorrow. Remind me. There's a witness that came on about 5 minutes ago. There you go.
We did do we took a sample of it and we did do a little self test there. Kind of appeared to be a kid cereal.
What do you
Picture.
mean? You said you did
Like
blood
a-
test?
We took a sample of it, put it in some hot water, and stirred it up. Kind of had a grainy oaty smell.
A grainy OT smell?
Yeah, or weedy smell.
And did it dissolve in water?
It did.
Did it appear to you to likely be some kind of children's cereal?
It did.
$17.
This is the passenger side rear door. And looking into the vehicle from the passenger side.
What's that there in the floorboard?
That is a natural light beer can.
19.
Front passenger door.
20.
That's the front passenger floorboard and the seat.
21. That's it for station 2. 11.
Yes, sir.
20. Is it also part of the duties of the forensics unit to collect video footage?
Yes, sir.
You sometimes get them from Ring doorbells on people's houses,
Yes, sir.
for businesses.
Yes, sir.
Did you participate in an effort to obtain relevant video footage in this case?
Yes, sir.
And was that centered on the Chevron Azalea Mobile Home Park area near the intersection of Ogeechee Road and Buckholder?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you go to the Chevron that's right next to the Azalea Mobile Home Plaza?
Yes, sir.
And did you obtain video footage from there?
Yes, sir.
And when was it that you did that?
On the 7th.
7th of October?
Yes, sir.
2020?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 2 days after the 911 call, you're out there at the Chevron getting video footage?
Yes, sir.
And for what time period did you obtain video footage from the Chevron?
Can I look at my report real quick? We got from approximately 1:18 to 1:30ish.
Is that all you collected, is 1 minute of video footage?
Looks like just more than 1 minute.
Okay. What I'm asking is, what general time frame, I'm not asking what the notable or relevant portion was. I'm asking you, what is the general time frame you were getting video footage for?
Approximately maybe like 2 to 5 minutes.
Okay. Now, did you see during that time period, what was you said, 1:15 to 1:18 or something like that?
1:18 to like 1:30ish.
1:18 to 1:30ish?
Yeah.
Did you see on that footage what appeared to be the Dodge Journey that you photographed?
Yes, sir.
And did you see whether that vehicle did or did not stop at the Chevron?
Yes, sir. It did not.
And did it stop at the Chevron during
No,
that
sir.
time period? Okay. Could you nevertheless see the vehicle in the Chevron footage?
Yes, sir.
But what did it do?
It traveled north on Ogeechee, turned into the Azalea parking lot road, and drove past the Chevron into Azalea.
Okay, so you can see it in the footage, but it's not stopping at Chevron, it's driving by the Chevron and turning into the Azalea Mobile Home Plaza.
Yes, sir.
Did you also collect surveillance footage, security footage from Azalea Mobile Home Plaza?
I did.
From a number of different cameras, correct?
Yes, I believe there's 3.
And did that footage appear to show the Dodge Journey that you photographed entering and driving around in Azalea Mobile Home Plaza during the period of, say, I don't know, 1:15 in the morning to 1:20 something in the morning
Yes, sir.
on October 5th, 2022?
Yes, sir.
When did you go out and get that Azalea footage?
The same day.
All right, October 7th?
Yes, sir.
And you mentioned that Sergeant Coleman is your sergeant with the crime scene unit, forensics unit.
Yes, sir.
Was he present with you on the 7th when you got that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was he supervising the operations as the sergeant for the unit?
Yes, sir.
And did he see and participate in, did you see the footage that y'all were looking at and participate in its collection?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sometime after the 7th, when you'd gotten this footage from Azalea showing the defendant's car, did you realize that the timestamps for Azalea's cameras appear to be off?
Yes, sir.
Like incorrect?
Yes, sir.
And did you do anything to memorialize what the timestamp discrepancy actually was?
We returned back to the scene and use our phones we put our phones up to the live view and took pictures of it so we could get a real time compared to their time.
Okay. And is the idea there that the time, the time on your phone is accurate?
Yes, sir.
And so you can compare the time showing on your phone to the time showing on the camera to figure out how far ahead or behind it is?
Yes, sir.
Right. And what was the timestamp discrepancy with the Azalea footage? How far ahead or behind the actual time was it?
I believe it was right around 80 minutes.
Behind or ahead?
Behind.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
On the 7th, when you went out to Azalea to collect the footage initially, did you take some photographs while you were out there?
Yes.
And when did you go back and do this deal with the phones to document the timestamp discrepancy?
On the
Would it refresh your memory to look at the photo card from that?
yes.
Do you see in front of you a document labeled States Exhibit 55?
Yes.
Feel free to look through that and tell me whether it refreshes your memories when you went out and memorialized the timestamp discrepancy.
The 9th.
9th of October, 2022.
Yes.
Looking at States Exhibit 55, does it clearly, fairly and accurately depict Azalea as photographed by you on the 7th and as photographed by you on the 9th as well?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would move this in States Exhibit 55.
Objection.
And may I publish, Your Honor? All right. States Exhibit 55 is up on the screen, specifically the first image in that exhibit. Is this your photo card from the 7th?
Yes, sir.
And this is the day you initially collected the footage?
Yes, sir.
Now, slide 2, what is this here? What are we looking at?
These are the community dumpsters in Azalea Mobile Home Park.
All right. And what is that we see on the far right side of the frame?
There's a white Jeep
All right.
belonging to one of the staff members of Azalea.
Okay. And that is sitting right next to the standard dumpsters, right?
Yes, sir.
Moving to slide 3, where are we? First of all, where are we?
So this building on my right is the Azalea main office, right as you enter the park. If you look in the distance, you can see the white Jeep from the previous photo.
I'm zoomed in here. Is that the white car that we just saw in the last picture?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And off to the left of it, is this one of the dumpsters?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in this picture, zooming back out, did you take this picture?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And were you standing right underneath the camera?
Yes.
All right. And that camera, is it affixed to
Kind
the
of
side of the management?
It's yeah, I believe it's on a little patio covering.
Say again?
I believe it's on a patio covering.
Okay. And again, were you standing more or less right under it?
Yeah, my camera was right under it.
And was the goal of this photo kind of figure out what direction is this camera looking and what is the field of view going to show in terms of the car sitting at the dumpsters?
Yes.
Okay. So we see, at least as you're standing there, you can see this car sitting at the dumpsters, but it is a ways off.
Yes, sir.
And what is this in the foreground here, this area that's bounded by this fence?
It's like a little maintenance area where they store, I guess, their machinery. It's in the property, the office property.
Moving on to slide 4, what are we looking at here?
This is the photo log for the 9th when we return to get the comparison photos from the phone and the timestamp on the videos.
Now, how many cameras did you all collect footage from Azalea for, I don't know, the early morning hours of the 5th and the late night hours of the 4th? Do you remember how many cameras total?
I believe there was 3 cameras at Azalea.
Okay. And did each one of those 3 capture, at least seem to capture the Dodge Journey that you photographed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to just talk to you about these next few pictures. Slide 5. Where are you as you take this picture?
So this one, I'm inside the office, holding a cell phone here, and then had another officer hold their cell phone on the camera view from outside, and then you have the timestamp right above that.
Okay. What is this monitor here that you're looking at?
That's their computer monitor for inside the office.
And is that monitor showing you the current video feed from that camera that you were just standing under in the previous picture?
Yeah, it's the live view.
Okay. What is the time showing on your phone?
12:20.
Okay. And that's 20 minutes after noon, is that right?
Yes, sir.
On the night.
Yes, sir.
And it's the same for the officer standing outside holding a phone up to the camera?
Yes, sir.
Was your iPhone time working that day?
Yes, sir.
Has it ever not been working? That's enough?
No, sir. Sorry.
Now, this camera is showing, when we zoom in here, it looks like it's showing 10:59.
Yes, sir.
All right. And so is that where you're getting that these cameras were about 81 minutes behind, 80 to 81 minutes behind?
Yes, sir.
And that's because the difference between 10:59 and 12:20 is about 80 to 81 minutes. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, this next image, slide 6, is this you looking at the monitor for a different camera pointing a different direction?
Yeah, same monitor, just different camera.
Oh, same monitor, different camera.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And does this camera that we're concerned with here in image 6, does this point out towards Ogeechee Road?
Yes, sir. That's Ogeechee Road, right past those U-Hauls.
Okay. And that's you're indicating to like the top right corner of the picture?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can we see any part of the chevron in this image?
Oh, yeah. If you look at my vehicle, the
Well,
chevron's right.
Which one's your vehicle?
The police truck on the left side,
All right. And then where's the chevron in relation to that?
just past it.
Okay. Are those U-Hauls in the chevron parking lot?
Yes, sir.
And did this camera have the exact same timestamp discrepancy
Yes, sir.
as the last one?
Yes, sir.
80 to 81 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Slide 7. Same monitor, different camera?
Yes, sir.
And does this one just point the other direction as the camera we were just talking about?
Yes, sir.
All right. And did that camera have the same timestamp discrepancy as the other two?
Yes, sir.
Whole system has the same time, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Therefore, the time discrepancy is going to be the same on all 3.
Yes, sir.
One moment, please, John. Let me just ask you this. Did the cameras themselves appear to be working when you were out there collecting the footage?
They did.
Did you have any issue collecting the footage?
No, sir.
As we were looking at this image, image 6, we see a police truck out there and U-Hauls in the Chevron parking lot.
Yes, sir.
At that time, was there in fact a police truck out there and U-Hauls in the Chevron parking lot?
Yes, sir. That's a live view of what was going on right there.
Okay, so were these cameras accurately capturing what was actually happening in the real world?
Yes, sir.
And does the timestamp discrepancy have anything to do with the accuracy or reliability of the footage itself?
No, sir.
No further questions, Ron.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hilliard?
Thank you.
Mr. Hilliard, before you start, I don't want to take a full break. But if you feel the need to stand up and just kind of stretch it out, you can feel free to do that. I know you've been sitting for a long time. Oh, just stand up and shake it out a little bit. I'll show you what I do.
Give me 1 second. I think it,
Okay.
is that better? Thank you. Sorry about that, Mr. Cooper. Okay, so let's just start with the Azalea cams first. Okay, so on October 7th and October 9th, you noticed some sort of time discrepancy, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you documented it, and that's what we just dealt with, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever inquiry or find out when the discrepancy began?
No, sir.
You were just sent out there to collect the footage then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you made no further inquiry other than just to note it?
I personally did not. I don't know if my sergeant or the other officer did.
And again, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, just asking you what you did, okay? So you noted the discrepancy, but you didn't get to the bottom of it or find out when it started, correct? All right. So let's back up a little bit and go to State's Exhibit 11, which was the one you did prior to that one. So on October 6th, you got the Dodge Journey, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you photographed the Dodge Journey,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Did you do anything else other than that or just take photographs?
Photographed it. We did alternate light on the vehicle to see if there's any like fabric or anything from the scene. We did do a couple swabs of the substance in the back, and we did blue star the vehicle.
Well, and that's why I'm asking is just based upon the testimony I heard, it seemed like it was just a bunch of pictures you were taking, but there was a lot more to it than that, wasn't there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how many people were out there that day on October 6th I guess, examining the vehicle?
Myself and Corporal Shiro.
Okay, so two of you.
Yes,
Okay. And so you went through the vehicle and you noted the alcohol containers, correct?
Yes,
Did you seize those?
Did I see those?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So they were taken into evidence, correct?
No.
They weren't taken into evidence?
No.
Just photographed them.
Just photograph.
All right. Just curious, why not?
Didn't feel that they were pertinent to the case.
So you don't think it's pertinent to the case? You don't log it into evidence?
Well, if it's not evidence,
And who determines whether or not something's evidence?
I guess that would be me.
So you determined it wasn't evidence, so you didn't log it, you didn't test it, you didn't swab it, you didn't keep it, correct? All right. Let's go on to the next picture. You had a picture of a natural light can in the back, correct?
No, sir.
And that was back in the passenger seat. And did you seize that and take that into evidence?
No, sir.
And again, I guess for the same reason you didn't consider it to be evidence.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you, whenever someone drinks from a can or touches a can or does something like that, is it possible to have some sort of DNA contact or transference between it?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that that might be relevant to testing to see who may have been or not been in the truck at that point in time?
It could be, but if they both had, or whoever had access to that vehicle, their DNA and prints would be all over the vehicle.
All right. But again, you didn't think it was evidence, didn't seize it, didn't test it, didn't do anything further with it, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, the substance in the back of the vehicle, which was kind of weird, okay, admittedly.
Yep.
You did take that, though.
I took a sample of that.
And let me ask you this. You said it was some sort of kid cereal,
I believe, I'm not 100% sure.
but it wasn't any biological material.
No.
Okay, it wasn't any sort of cleaning solvent or anything like that,
No,
was it?
sir.
Okay, but it was, from what you could tell, and I don't have any reason to think you're wrong, it was some sort of kid cereal or breakfast cereal of some sort that was in the back.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you were taking pictures of the inside of the van, I'm going to assume you looked throughout the entire thing.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever find any feces or blood or anything like that in it?
We did find a spot that reacted on the driver's side seat, but that was it.
And what was that?
Appeared to be blood. We just started and it fluoresced. And it was just a little spot on the driver's seat.
Okay, did you seize that or send it for further testing?
No, sir.
You didn't?
No, sir.
And again, just curious, why not?
Didn't believe at the time it was pertinent.
Now, with regards to the rest of the vehicle, did you find anything else of any substance in there? Of any relevance?
There was a spot in the back that we took swabs of and logged in. And there's a couple of fibers from the back seat or the back of the vehicle that we collected and logged in.
And what did you do with them once you swabbed them and collected them and logged them in?
That was all I did with them.
And just out of curiosity, if you look at number 15 from State's Exhibit 11, what was this orange thing and this white thing in the back of the can?
Those are traffic vests, kind of like safety vests. And then the white paper was from the dentist, I believe it was.
Okay.
Paperwork.
And what's the little orange thing on the ground right there?
I believe that was another safety vest.
And that was the extent of everything that you found or found relevant from the call, correct?
Yes, sir.
Let's back up and go to State's Exhibit number 10. And actually, it might be easier to look at State's Exhibit number 9. Do you have that in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's do that because it's a better overview, and the other one is just a lot of pictures to thumb through. So you took a bunch of pictures of the house and the surrounding area, correct?
Yes, sir.
So looking at State's Exhibit 9, and again, don't want to put words in your mouth, but from what my recollection was, there was a pool in the back, and there was a set of dining room doors and a set of living room doors that led out to the pool area, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it looked like, and again, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, just going from my recollection, that the living room doors opened into a play area,
Yes, sir.
and the dining room doors opened directly onto the patio area. Is that a fair and accurate assessment of what the pictures you took?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when you got there, well, I guess it was on October 5th, correct?
Yes.
Okay. When you got there on October 5th, you were sent around to take all the pictures that you took in State's Exhibit 10, correct?
Yeah.
All right. And Mr. Dean asked you to discuss and go through what it took to go from the front door to, I guess, the living room door, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But based upon that, it's a much shorter trip to go from the front door to the dining room door, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it's not nearly as circuitous, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I can't tell from the picture, so I'm going to have to ask you. The dining room door opens right out onto the patio, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The living room door opens into a play area, correct?
It's the same patio. It's just got a little gate.
Right. And it seems to me, again, not putting words in your mouth, but the play area seemed kind of cordoned off,
Yeah.
and the dining room doors didn't. It kind of opened straight into the pool area.
Yes, sir.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it's much easier to get out through the dining room door onto the patio than the living room door, correct?
Yes, sir.
And when you were there that day, were those doors open, closed? What were they?
All the doors were closed when I got there.
Were they unlocked?
I believe so, yes.
So you didn't have any problem opening and closing. Or the dining room doors, were they relatively easy to open and get through?
Yes, sir.
And the living room doors, same thing. Were they relatively easy to open and get through?
Yes, sir.
Did you have any difficulty getting through them?
No, sir.
Was there anything that indicated that the doors may have been kicked, smashed, broken in any way, shape, or form?
No, sir.
And so they were operable.
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Dean asked about the route, I guess, through the downstairs. It's kind of a fairly odd layout in the downstairs area. I think that's safe to say, correct?
Yes, sir.
But was the kitchen in use?
Yes, sir.
And it was usable, correct? Was the living room in use and usable?
Yes, sir.
The dining room in use and usable?
Yes, sir.
And the front area that we're talking about, where you first enter into the front door area, that front door area enters, what's the street that is directly in front of the front door?
Buckhalter.
So that's Buckhalter Road.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the dining room and the living room, they open towards the pool, but I assume that's more around back to where the driveway and the garage and all of that was.
Yes, sir.
Again, if I'm misstating it or I'm just trying to understand it, but that seems to me that, and the area had a gate on it, if I'm not mistaken. I remember you taking a picture of a truck.
Yep.
So there's a gate, and the gate goes around to the back, correct?
Yes.
So wouldn't that indicate that the main entrance and egress to the house is through the back, not the front?
Sure.
Well, I mean, you know the layout better than I do. So,
I don't know what entrance they use, but yes.
okay. So now, when you were taking all of these pictures and you took a number of them, you took 475, right?
Something like that.
Somewhere there, about a lot.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not saying these are all them, but you took a lot. When you came across the pictures, you said it was vomit that was in the pack and play, correct?
I believe it was.
You believe it was. Did you seize it?
Yes.
Okay. Did you send it off for testing?
I did not detect it.
So you basically did your job, seized it, handed it off to the detectives, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But the one thing is you're sure it wasn't blood, correct?
I'm not sure.
Didn't look like it, did it?
It did not look like blood.
And not a trick question. You answered this question for Mr. Dean quite readily, so I'm not trying to trip you up. Okay. So it was, but you believe it to be vomit, correct?
I did.
Okay. And you don't know how old it was or how long it had been there.
I don't.
Okay. Now, did you notice anything else of any significance in that front room? I noticed at least there was at least 2 other cribs or I guess beds in there. Did you notice any urine, feces, vomit, diapers, things like that in the area as well?
I don't recall.
If you had noticed anything like that, would you have taken pictures of it and recorded it?
Yes.
Did you take any pictures of it and record it?
I don't think so.
All right, so this was pretty much the extent of what you did in the case, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you review you said you went and seized the camera footage from Azalea, if I'm not mistaken. So that was you that went out and picked it up,
Yes.
seized it, and then I guess you forwarded it to the detectives, correct?
Yes. Well, we put it on a computer at work.
So, and does that conclude your involvement in the case?
Pretty much yes.
Okay. So there's nothing else you did of any evidentiary or investigatory importance at this point. It's pretty much everything that we discussed and talked about here today, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Officer Smith. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Just a moment. Turn to the state. Is there any redirect?
You were asked about blood in the car, and you mentioned something about this spot on the driver's seat fluorescent.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us what you mean? Or blue star or something like that?
The blue star is a chemical we use to look for, it reacts to the hemoglobin in blood, and it will fluoresce blue. So we sprayed the whole vehicle with it. It's a liquid, and the only part that fluoresced was on the front driver's side seat.
Well, let's take it step by step. You spray the whole vehicle with this chemical, right?
Yes, sir.
Then what do you do? Do you next have to turn off the lights?
Yeah, it's got to be completely dark,
Okay.
or as dark as you can get it.
Again, step by step. Once you've turned off the lights, what do you do?
Then we spray the vehicle. We would spray each seat, the floorboard, and then see if there's a reaction. If there's no reaction, then we'll move on to another area, and then another area. If we get a reaction, then we'll photograph it.
Okay. And then what does it mean for something to fluoresce or react on when you spray it with the blue star chemical?
It lights up blue.
Okay. Lights up blue.
Yeah.
Okay. In the dark.
Yes, sir.
It kind of glows a little bit.
Yes, sir.
First of all, the spot on the driver's seat that had this reaction, was it, before you turned the lights off and sprayed that chemical on it, did it appear to the naked eye to look like blood or not?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Just like a little spot?
Yeah.
And where in the driver's seat was it?
It would be pretty much right where you would sit.
Right where you would sit?
Yeah.
Like dead center in the driver's seat?
Yeah, pretty much.
And how big was it?
It was just a small, line.
Very small, right?
Yeah.
Like almost like a pinpoint or something?
A little bigger than a pinpoint, but not a lot.
Okay. And does the blue star reaction necessarily mean it's blood?
No, it's just a presumptive test.
Now, did you take pictures of that spot before you would turn the lights off and sprayed it with the blue star?
Yeah.
And did you take pictures of that spot with the lights off, glowing blue with the blue star chemical on
I
it?
did.
And did you make those images available to detectives?
I did.
And is it detectives who ultimately make the decision about what particular things in the case need follow up?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Just one more. And just not to belabor the point, but that was one of those things that didn't need follow-up, correct?
I didn't believe it did.
Follow question. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Is there any reason not to excuse this witness?
No.
All right. You are excused, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
We are kind of like the follow-up unit. When a patrol officer goes out to a scene, they collect the initial information, and if it needs additional follow-up, it'll be sent over to the detectives unit. Or like in this case, if something immediate and urgent is happening, a detective will respond out.
Now, as of October 2022, how long have you been with CID again?
About 2 years.
Okay. And what, if any, training had you gotten to that point, October of 2022, in the way of homicide investigations?
I have taken, I believe it was in 2021, I took the homicide investigations course with GIPSTIC, which is the Georgia Public Safety Training Center. It's kind of like the mother agency for law enforcement in Georgia.
Okay. And can you describe that course for us? How long was it?
It was 5 days, and it was at the center in Forsyth County.
Had you
Or city,
taken,
excuse me.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was in city, Forsyth City.
As of October 2022, had you taken any other pertinent courses at JITSTIC?
At GIPSTIC, I also took Child First, which is a course kind of showing the best practices for interviewing children. And I've also taken interviews and interrogations, probably some other minor ones up to that point.
Can you describe what you mean by best practices for interviewing children through the Child First training that you mentioned?
Yeah, so interviewing children and adults is different. You want to be kind of broad with your questioning. Children are hyperactive too, so you want to make sure you can keep them on, track.
Now, this Child First child interview training, how did you end up going to that? Did you volunteer or were you voluntold, as they sometimes say?
Volunteer.
And why was that?
So, like I said, our unit's general crimes, but we do kind of specialize. At that time, I had an interest in working in child crimes, so any training I could get on the subject, I wanted to go to.
And as of 2020, October of 2020, did you have any collateral duties involving crimes against children?
In 2020?
As of October 2022, were you involved in the investigation of crimes against children?
Yes, I was.
Can you tell us about that?
Yep. So at that point, I was a part of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, which mainly focuses on child exploitation. I also did a large number of child abuse and child molestation cases.
In your normal capacity as a detective with the Chatham County Police Department?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as of October 2022, you had investigated child abuse cases?
Yes.
And had you investigated child deaths?
I have.
And had you investigated homicides?
I have.
And had you investigated any child abductions?
No.
And why is that?
They very rarely happen, if ever.
Now, your current positions, what are you doing currently?
I'm currently at the counter narcotics team.
Okay. What is the counter narcotics team?
It is a joint task force in Chatham. It's a collection of different law enforcement officers from different agencies in the area investigating narcotics.
And how long have you been with the counter narcotics team?
About 10 months.
You guys call that CNT?
We do.
Is that why when I asked you at the outset, are you a detective with the Chatham County Police Department, you said no?
Yes.
Okay, so you're tasked out to CNT?
Yes.
But you still get paid
Still,
by
yes.
Chatham County Police?
Yes.
Okay. Are you a task force officer with any other task forces other than the counter narcotics team?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that, please?
Yes. Beginning last year, I was a task force officer with the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Child Crime Unit.
And are you still on that task force?
I am.
And how did you get involved in that?
So I had expressed my interest in working those kind of crimes, and I had worked jointly with the local FBI office on several cases, and I was asked to come over.
Now, with that background, I want to ask you about October 5th, okay? And I first want to ask you about the scene. Did you respond to 535 Buckhalter Road
I did.
on October 5th, 2022?
Yes.
Okay. I think we heard one witness say that you may be the first detective for CID present on the scene. Is that accurate?
No.
Okay. Who was there from CID before you?
Detective Wilkins and Detective Noble.
Okay. And about what time of day did you arrive? Best of your
I
recollection.
believe it was after 12.
So when you got there, I'd like to ask you some questions to just kind of set the scene.
Yep.
Who was there and what was going on?
So by the time I got there, both Detective Wilkins and Noble were there. Our forensics team had the drone up, and they were beginning kind of a grid search with patrol officers, and we had several outside agencies coming to assist in the grid search.
Outside agencies, who were we talking about?
Yeah, we had a bloodhound, I believe, from Beaufort or maybe Liberty County out there that was trying to track. We had mounted patrol from Savannah was out there. Our Marine Patrol unit was out there, and I believe the sheriff's office as well.
Mounted patrol, meaning horse
Horses,
patrol?
yes.
All hands on deck.
Yes.
Did you yourself ever enter the residence during your period of time on scene?
Yes.
And how did that come about?
I asked Sergeant Stewart to kind of give me a layout where everyone was staying, what the house looked like, since he was already familiar with it.
And did you go in? Where did you go in, and what did you look at?
I went through the front door into the main living area for the family and looked at where Quinton's playpen was.
And what did you make of the playpen when you looked at it? Any observations that you remember?
It was covered in stains, specifically, a large one on the pillow.
And what did that stain to you appear to be?
Vomit.
And did it smell like vomit to you?
Yes, immediately when I walked through the front door, I smelled vomit.
One moment, please. I'd like to pull up a picture for you. Now, this is image 30 from State's Exhibit 10. Is this the back and play that you're describing, looking at?
Yes.
You said it was covered in stains. Can you point us to any of those in this image?
So I mean, there's some on the lip right here that I can see, and then on the actual bedding, there were several stains.
Okay, so all this stuff around the edge there, did that appear to you to just be kind of general grime and dirtiness?
Yes.
Did it appear to you to be blood?
No, I was thinking more like Cheeto fingers and the kid touching the side.
Okay, as someone who's actually in the room that looked at it, that's what it looked like to you?
Yes.
Now, this is image 32 from State's Exhibit 10. And Officer Schenker, I think, said it appears redder on the screen than it appeared in the residence. Do you agree with that?
I do.
Yeah, I have published a paper version for the jury, just like in a little bit of white here.
Yes.
I can pass that around. Just to be clear, did this substance appear to you to be blood?
No.
You said it looked like vomit?
Smelled like vomit, yeah.
Now, I would like to play for you a brief portion of what's been introduced into evidence of State's Exhibit 2 and identified as Sergeant Bobby Stewart's body-worn camera footage. Was your observation of the pack and play captured on his body-worn camera?
It was.
And did you make any statements while looking at it, at the pack and play, about what it smelled like?
Yes, I immediately said it smelled like vomit.
Smelled like vomit? I'm trying to get just right to the right spot here.
Is that exhibit? Is that exhibit?
Yes.
Okay, you can hand that back to the state's head.
It's not mine anymore, now it's belongs to the court, so I'll bring it back up.
All right, thank you.
All right. This is State's Exhibit 2, correct?
I'm not sure on the number, but I do remember seeing it.
Okay. In any case, what's the timestamp at the top right corner?
It is 12/31/20.
All right, what are we going to hear you say in this bit we're going to play?
That it smells like vomit.
I can say the smell, so I'm saying that. Sí, amor, ¿cómo se llama?
It smells like vomit.
All right, I've stopped the playback at 12:31:50 on the timestamp in the top right corner of State's Exhibit 2. Did you see anything that looked like blood in the residence in that?
No.
Now, in State's Exhibit 3, slide 27. What time are we at here?
This is 12:43:12.
And is that you on the far right?
It is.
Who are you talking to here?
I'm talking to Captain Wright, who's in the green shirt with the investigations unit, Captain Fandrich, Lieutenant Thompson, and Lieutenant Foster.
And what is going on at this time?
I'm informing them of our game plan, which was to move Daniel Youngkin, Paul Simon, and Leilani Simon to our main precinct for interviews.
And did that happen shortly after this exchange?
It did.
Okay. How was that arranged logistically?
Some of the patrol officers on scene drove the adults over.
And did they all agree to go in?
They did.
Now, where did you all go? I know you've mentioned it by some kind of shorthand,
Yep.
the precinct or something like that. But can you describe in a little more detail where this place is and what it is?
It's the Chatham County Police Headquarters on Chatham Parkway at 295 Police Memorial.
And why did you all go there?
So we had people showing up on scene. There's more patrol officers, more search parties, and then some of the family members were also showing up, and we wanted to take the people that were living at the residence at the time that this occurred and get thorough interviews with each one of them.
Now, before we leave the scene, I want to ask you about what happened to the pillow and pillowcase and the pack and play that we were just looking at. I believe Officer Shanker testified that that was taken into evidence.
Yes,
And was the entire pack and play taken as well?
yes.
Okay. Now, was that pillow and pillowcase and pack and play put into the property room or evidence room at the Chatham County Police Department?
It was.
And did you eventually sign it out?
I did.
And did you give it to FBI agent Savannah Solomon?
Yes.
And was that so that she could send it to the FBI lab for potential forensic analysis?
Yes, it had to be shipped to Quantico, Virginia.
And you were the one that signed it out and gave it to her?
I believe it was me, yes.
Now, how many interview rooms did you all have operational at the Chatham County Police Department at this time, October 5th?
So there's only one room that's set up for audio and visual recording.
And how is that room set up for audio and visual recording?
So there's a metal desk. I think it was metal at that time. There's a desk in the middle and then several cameras that are pointing towards one specific wall with whoever you're interviewing sits against.
Now, is the entirety of the precinct that you're describing open to the public? Like, if somebody off the street walks in and wants to walk around, can they access every part of the precinct?
No, they can't.
Can you describe what you mean?
Yeah, so that precinct shares a building with the tag office. And once you get to the police side of it, there's locked doors with the police insignia on front. You can't get past those unless you have a key card. And then specifically where our interview room is, there's an additional set of locked doors you have to get through.
Now, past those locked doors into the police side, where the interview room is, are there sensitive areas in there?
Yes.
Can you describe what those are?
Well, we have patrol officer offices for all of the command staff is there as well. Forensics is in there. We have our secured property room and records and dispatch.
So when a normal citizen is back there, is it routine for them to be chaperoned or monitored by a police officer at all times?
Yes.
Now, when you arrived, was the defendant already there?
To the precinct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Was there anything that you did between leaving the scene and getting to the precinct?
Yes.
Okay. And is that why she was already there when you got there?
Yes.
Okay. What was it that you did between leaving the scene, 535 Buckhalter, and going to the precinct?
So I was told that there was a older child, I believe he was around 3 years old, Zane, and I wanted to speak with him as well as some family members.
And where was he?
Zane had been brought over to the babysitter, Michelle's residence by that time.
And where is that in relation to this house, 535 Buckhalter?
It's across the street about a block away.
Okay. Did you walk there or drive?
I think I just walked.
Did you make contact with Zane there?
I did.
And his last name is?
Wharton.
Did you attempt to talk to him?
I did.
Interview him?
Yes.
Can you tell us how that went?
It was on
First of all, what were you trying to ask him?
just if he knew where Quinton was. I think I asked if he knew where Quinton likes to hide. I don't know if anything happened last night.
And was that interview productive in any way?
No.
Can you describe what you mean?
Zane was showing me how fast he could run at that time. So his focus was not on me. And it was hard to get him to acknowledge me, not only to answer my questions, but to just acknowledge my existence.
Okay. So is it fair to say that the interview or attempted interview with Zane was kind of robust?
It was.
And again, how old was he at the time?
At 3.
But you tried.
I did.
And again, you had specific training to interview children.
Yes,
And it just did not work.
it did not.
Now, at the scene, we saw an image of the public information officer in Sergeant Stewart's body worn camera slides. What's her name?
Betsy Nolan.
Why was she there?
So anytime there's a critical incident, Ms. Nolan will usually do some sort of press release or she'll respond to any media requests for us.
And did media show up to the scene that day at some point?
They did.
Okay. And they had to be held off to the ends of the street to keep the scene secure.
Yeah, at that point, we would have had a grid search in that entire area. So we needed the media to go somewhere specific instead of responding to the scene itself.
Is it normal for the public information officer to come out to deal with them?
Yes.
Because they want to know what's going on.
Yes.
And she's the one that's responsible for giving a statement from the police department to the media.
Yeah, and then relaying any information about what the media needs to put out. At this case, it was a missing child. So she needed them to put out, has anyone seen this child?
Anything unusual or nefarious about Betsy Nolan, the PIO, having been out there?
No.
All right. So when you get to the precinct for these interviews, Daniel, Paul, and Leilani are already there, right?
Yes.
Okay. And where were they? The three of them?
When I got there, Daniel was in our main interview room. Leilani was in a spare room that we also used as a lactation or nursing room. And then Paul was in a conference room
Why were they all in separate rooms?
because we needed to get their statement individually without any other influence.
And were they transported there separately in the first place?
I'm not entirely sure.
Who interviewed whom?
Yeah, so at that point, we had Agent Snyder's team had joined us. So we had a FBI agent and a detective paired off. So Agent Brad Snyder and I interviewed Leilani. Agent Solomon, Savannah Solomon, and Detective Noble interviewed Daniel Youngkin. And then Paul Simon was interviewed by Special Agent Burns and Detective Wilkins.
I want to ask you kind of a technical question about the indictment here. There are a number of false statement charges in the indictment.
Yes.
Have you reviewed it?
I
have. And it is an element of the false statements offense in Georgia that the matter that the person was being questioned about was within the jurisdiction of the Chatham County Police Department to investigate, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is it within the jurisdiction of the Chatham County Police Department to investigate the disappearance of a child who lives in Chatham County?
Yes.
Thank you. So you have these local and federal teams, and you said you were paired up with Special Agent Snyder.
Yes.
And what was the first thing that y'all did?
So Agent Snyder and I had not spoken to Leilani at that point. We wanted to hear it from her, what had happened in the last 24 hours.
And did you conduct an interview with her at that point, sometime shortly after your arrival?
We did.
And where was that interview conducted?
In the lactation/spare room.
And who all was there?
Myself, Leilani, and Agent Snyder.
And was that interview recorded?
It was,
How was it recorded?
I recorded it on my cell phone.
How was your cell phone positioned during this?
Yeah, I did a video recording and kind of just set it down on the table, and the camera angle is facing up at the ceiling tiles.
Now, what was the goal of this initial interview? What were y'all looking for?
To hear it from her, what had happened in the last 24 hours.
Okay. And did you ask her for an account of her day on October 4th and her night on October 4th and early morning hours of October 5th?
Yes.
And did she give that to you?
She did.
To the best of your recollection, I know I'm asking you to kind of summarize a lot, but what was that account?
So she described getting her wisdom teeth pulled, returning home with Daniel, eventually getting the kids, getting them, together that night. She talked about laying down to sleep that night. Her tooth started hurting, so she left to get Orgel.
And what time was she saying that Orgel trip was at?
Around 1.
And where was she saying that she had gone to get that Orgel?
To the Chevron gas station.
And where is the Chevron gas station that she was referring to?
I believe it's 4800 Ogeechee Road.
Is it the one that we were looking at in the pictures with Officer Schenker?
Yes.
The one right next to the Cellular Mobile Home Plaza?
Yes.
And who was she saying that she had gotten Orgel from?
Her former coworker, Misty.
Now, you've seen the statement that, the recorded statement that Lieutenant Foster got from her on scene?
Yes.
Was her story to you about this Orgel trip that you're talking about her providing in the lactation room initially, was it substantially the same as what she had told him on scene?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in this this first interview in the lactation room, did she mention anything about a trip to her drug dealer earlier in the night?
No.
Was she asked about her brother Paul's whereabouts through the night?
Yes.
And as best you can remember, what did she say?
I believe she described him returning home that night from work and maybe stopping in to say hello and then going upstairs to his room for the remainder of the night.
Was she asked about Danny's, her boyfriend Danny's whereabouts and activity through the night, say from, 11 p.m. on or something like that?
Yes.
And what did she say about that, as best you remember?
That he was in bed. I believe she said they were watching a movie
Okay. Well, all night or what point in time?
before they went to sleep,
Okay.
around 12:30.
And was she putting him in bed asleep after that point?
Yes.
Was she asked about when Quinton went to bed and where?
Yes.
Okay. And what did she say about that?
That around 10:30, she'd put him in his pack and play for the night. He took about 40 minutes kind of doing a babbling crying until he finally fell asleep.
Was she asked about any drug use
She
that
was.
she might have engaged in that night?
Yes.
And what did she have to say about that?
I believe at that point she said that she had smoked weed.
Did she mention any other drugs?
No.
Okay. Do you see in front of you, first of all, a disc marked as States Exhibit 12?
Yes.
What is that?
It is the 911 call from the communication center.
Is this something that you eventually obtained and incorporated into your case file?
Yes,
And does that include a certificate of authenticity from the 911 communication center?
it does.
Your Honor, I will move this in as States Exhibit 12.
Okay, it is admitted.
All right, so this is the disc containing the audio of the 911 call that kicked this whole investigation off, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd like to publish a portion of this recording at this time.
All right, please proceed.
And I'm going to play from the very beginning to about 45 seconds in.
38:37 seconds, October 5, 2022.
Yeah, I just come back by both of those. I was really trying to get that. Yes.
All right, so I've stopped the playback at 45 seconds in. That file's a few minutes longer, correct?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that the remainder of that is mostly Daniel Youngkin talking?
Yes.
And is that the male voice that we heard on there as well?
It is.
And there's also some of the defendant providing biographical information about her son.
Yes.
And which son did she say it was?
Quinton Simon.
At some point during the investigation, did you learn Quinton Simon's birthday?
I did.
And what was it?
It's 1/8/21.
1/8/21. So that would that put him at 20 months old on October 4th, 5th of 2022?
Yes.
So that's the initial statement that gets the police involved to begin with for the defendant, correct?
Yes.
And what time was that call made? Did you catch it?
I believe it was 9 and 9:40.
You want to play it again?
Yes.
9:38:37 seconds, October 5, 2000.
What time was that call?
9:38 a.m.
All right. So let's go back to the lactation room and your first interview. You mentioned you recorded that on your phone.
Yes.
Is that the only interview you conducted of the defendant on that day?
No.
All right. Do you see in front of you an envelope containing a thumb drive, the envelope being marked as State's Exhibit 13?
Yes. Yes.
Now, broadly speaking, what's on this thumb drive?
It was the October 5th interviews of Leilani Simon.
Okay. Do those recordings, they're video recordings, correct?
Yes.
From the lactation room on your phone, right?
Yes.
And then later from the interview room?
Yes.
Okay. Do those recordings fairly and accurately depict those interviews?
They do.
Now, have those ones been altered or modified in any way?
They've been redacted to comply with the court's orders.
Okay, so some portions have been taken out.
Yes.
All right. At this point, I would like to publish what is on that. Well, let me offer it. I'd like to introduce that, Your Honor, State's Exhibit 13.
No objection, subject to the redactions, Judge.
Exhibit 13 is admitted subject to the redactions.
All right. I'd like to now publish what is on this thumb drive is lactation room first video. That be okay, Your Honor?
Yes.
And actually, as I open it up, I realize that this is a 28-minute video and it is 11:45. The court would like me to proceed or not?
The next video is close to 30 minutes long. We can play that now, or we can hold it until after lunch. Okay, the general consensus is head yeses, and we can move on. So let's go ahead and hear that video, see that video.
Brass iron from what the FBI. Your response to something.
That's why he's here. Detective Lemons, I haven't met you yet. I was allowed to see it earlier, but I just want to come here and talk to him and get some more information too. Okay. Can you spell your name for us?
Leilani.
L-A-N-I.
Just one more time, I'm sorry.
Leilani.
What's your last name?
Simon.
Two names or just one? What's your date of birth?
11/30/99.
So right now, again, we're sorry for everything you're having. We can't imagine the emotion that you're feeling right now. But as difficult as it is, just once you kind of think back the last 24 hours, it's kind of giving me, what you've been through in the past 24 hours. So we'll talk 24 hours would be this time yesterday. So from about 1 o'clock yesterday.
Tell me that just getting the list too cool.
Okay.
About this time yesterday.
Did you have your son with you?
No, I don't know. Thanks to I went to work and I left because I wanted to I had essentially there and I had to keep the kids.
Where are you working right now?
Eclipse IA and Port Whitworth.
Eclipse, what type of work is that?
Warehouse loading. No, that's not. Oh, whatever. So I called babysitter and I stayed home a little bit longer. All together, she had all 3 of them. So it would be, started. It was home now. So
Did
now
you get any sort of hydrocodone or anything for the
ibuprofen.
ibuprofen?
$800 it's $50 and $800 ibuprofen. So I went home. Took a nap.
How long do you think that was?
We officially got about 2, a little bit after 2. I had about an hour and a half nap before we got up and got things going to pick up the kids. And it's the day before I picked them up. That's still the thing at the house. We went and picked them up and gave them all a bath. You have food? I said, Danny, I'm doing my box to get dinner for the kids in the office for watch tonight. So that's there too. And I put them down to bed. And Quinn he's a talker. He doesn't cry when he's tired. He just talks babbles. So he lays there and talks to himself. It takes him about 40 minutes to fall asleep. He's like, blah, blah, blah. However long it is. He probably fell asleep. It probably was too heavy. Conditioning on baths, they were cleaning up all that stuff was done for them, and then a little bit of tea, and then, bed. Bed. Oh, my mouth was really bothering me about a was 1 in the morning. So I called several parents to see if they had orange out. No. So I got in contact with another one of my friends named Misty that I used to work with. Who has a lot of mouth problems. And asked her if she had any orange out. I met her up there at the Chevron. And I called her and got back home. Y'all, so in 12 minutes. I had it for my life 360. I can show y'all right around everything that's on the left. I got back. Get home, in my mouth, checked all the kids again. They're all good.
What time was that?
It was 1:25. I looked at my app when they asked me to. Then I got home. It was also a 12 minutes. Literally what I showed. And I go there, put it in. No. I checked the kids. Everybody's kind of sky. She saw us sleep on the couch. Quinton, not like this. And it's playing in. And just aiming the tablet on his chest. And I wasn't touching. It's all over the head. I think I found 9. Almost 9. And I was supposed to go to work, but because of this, I was just going to stay home today. Which is why the kids didn't babysit. Really stopped. The front door was partially open. Like, I was like, the wide open. The door was never open unless somebody was out going normally ever. So I get up and go shut it. I didn't think nothing about it. I just got out of bed. The door's open. Let me shut the door. And I turn around and check on the kids. Sky's there. Zane's there. Quint's not there. So I searched the house, under the bed, behind the couches, in the closets, in the cabinets, outside, everywhere. The pool, everything. Couldn't find them. I go, Jeremy, did you take them to babysitters just to give me an easier day or something? Did you like forget to tell me, or did you tell me and I not remember? He's like, no, he was there. I don't know what this morning. He's like, he's not there. So then I called the cops and I called the chef, which is the babysitter, to try to help me look a little bit farther out. So I got 2 kids in the house and it was my brother was asleep. And 2 kids, it was just me searching and screaming. I couldn't find anything at all. I couldn't even find his coat he had. Put him into bed.
You said you can find his.
I couldn't find his cup. Yeah, his cup. And then he had a little Mickey Mouse stuffed in a little toy. I wasn't in the bed either.
Just wouldn't take any medication at all.
So he only had one medical issue, which would hopefully fix itself by the time he reached age of 10. And so one of the arteries, one of the main arteries to his heart, doesn't pump like it's supposed to. And that's the only issue he had at all. This boy was walking before he was even 7 months old. It's a smart little boy.
Mm-hmm. Has he ever scrummy his bed? Is it like a crib or something?
We did play game for him.
Has he ever gotten out of him before when he's home? So he doesn't.
He cannot get up on his own. The boy can't even get his foot up there if he tried.
He can't step on something. There's nothing in the crib.
Nothing in the crib but a pillow and a blanket. And that's the only thing he had. The only time he's ever managed to get out of it was with my oldest son's help. He'd come and grab the side of the paper and they would quickly put him out. Nobody needs to come out for the oldest. And he'd come grab that paper and snatch it down and get his brother on out. But the paper's always knocked over when that happens. Everything's out of it. The part that you lay on the, whatever, out of it. Everything was out of it. Nothing was flipped over. Nothing was messed, nothing at all.
And you have full custody of him?
No, my mother does.
Okay.
I found myself in a very hard situation where my boyfriend at the time left me and I didn't have a job and my car broke down with me, so I didn't have transportation. So I voluntarily signed over to birth custody to my mother until I could get up on my feet. I've just now recently got to where at the end of this month we were supposed to be going to put money down in the house, the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, all this. So after that happened, we were going to begin the process of getting me back to custody and legal rights.
Your mom lives with you?
That's her house that we were at. Since she has her custody, I wanted to make sure, we would all want to make sure that we were, the kids were, they were supposed to be legally unbooked, because I could have had to move up to North Carolina, even though it was a little 2-bedroom apartment. I could have done that after, but I was homeless for 2 months before I even got that. So, okay, y'all.
I know.
It's so sweet. It's so sweet.
I can't imagine what you're going through. I wish I had some tissue. Do you have any tissue? Is there any tissue?
No, that's serious. I don't need any clothes.
Okay.
I broke it.
What is that?
I broke it. I have no idea about it.
Just, we're going to, you can rest assured, that everybody working this is going to do everything feasibly possible to help find your son. Okay?
My father, him and I have never had good terms since before I was pregnant. We stopped talking, and 3 days later I found out I was pregnant. So,
What's his name?
the father's name is Henry Moss. He goes by Bubba.
Okay.
And,
When was the last time you saw him?
I haven't seen him in over a year.
Does he know where you live?
He does, because I try not to be like any mother out there. So I moved back down here, and I knew that it was substantially closer to where he stayed at. I was just like, well, this is where I'm at. If you want to see your son, let me know. Here's an address. Where if all he was trying to do was use Quinton as an excuse to get in my pants. So I started denying him to visit his son.
When did you do that?
4 months, 5 months ago.
4 or 5 months.
Started denying him. Started ignoring him. Just blocked him and everything. The Facebook that I had tried to pull him out was a new one that he recently sent me a friend request. So I see if I try to get in contact with him, but I'm blocked on that. So I'm in contact, so I'm members.
Are those still on your phone?
Huh?
Are those messages still on your phone, maybe?
I don't know if it's still on. that phone. I don't know for a couple. Sent him like 3 days bucks.
Do you have your phone secure?
There.
Okay. Do you mind if we get the password to your phone? So you can
Okay. Yeah, I tried to pull it up.
Yeah. Is it a drawing or is it just numbers?
Oh, it's 1861.
1864?
1864.
I don't know about listeners because that phone, like I said, it's a form I use for my mother. That's my little pro. Everything has to make a new account. So I'm not too sure if it's on that account
Gotcha.
or if it's on the other account. But I don't want to try to search him up today to try to show the officers or whatever, because one of the last messages I remember getting from him said, "You do not deserve to have Quinton. I'm going to get a paternity test and I'm going to take it." Yeah.
Henry said that.
Yes, Bella said that. Bella knows.
Henry said that.
Yes. When? 3 weeks ago. You know, and then today was the first time that my babysitter, when I heard her talk.
I paused it at 11 minutes and 54 seconds in. I just want to ask you some questions about what the defendant just said there. Can you just sort of recap for us what she was saying about these supposed Facebook messages from Quinton's father, Henry Bubba Moss Jr.?
Yeah, she was describing Henry Moss's Facebook account that they had been communicating, and that he had been saying that he was going to take Quinton after he gets a paternity test.
And she was saying those messages had been sent when in relation to this interview?
I believe those specific ones she said a few weeks prior.
Okay. Now, did you look in her phone that day?
I did.
And were you able to see any messages along those lines in her Facebook?
No.
Was she able to pull them up and show them to you?
No.
Did you at some point obtain a search warrant for her Facebook records or a portion thereof?
Yes,
And did you send that to Facebook?
I did.
And did they send you some information in response?
They did.
Some of her Facebook records?
Yes.
Were you able to find those messages that she's describing in the Facebook records that you got back?
No.
And I'll resume playback at 11 minutes, 54 seconds where I left off, Your Honor.
Call Sarah, but she seemed close and the health fund she big recently. And I looked at her and said, "What did you tell me about that?" "I told your mother, but she didn't tell me I was the one here."
Yeah.
I could have been more cautious if I felt like somebody was watching the house.
Now, every question that we ask, I promise you, you're going to think that, we're intruding on your privacy, but I can assure you, every question that we ask has a purpose to try to figure out, every feasible possible angle there is to this case. So with that, we're not looking to get you in trouble for past drug use or past drug abuse. But it's until we,
Listen,
okay.
hey, whatever medicine chopped up in my mouth yesterday.
So do you owe any debts to anybody? You have anybody that you?
I'm not even know that I do not borrow. I do not fart. I don't do anything like that. I don't owe anybody any money at all.
How much marijuana? How frequently do you use marijuana?
Once a night.
Once a night.
Twice a night before I go to bed. When the kids are asleep, everything's in here, little dishes, food, kitchen. Time for my to sleep, I have severe anxiety.
And where do you get the marijuana from? Do you purchase it yourself or do you get it through?
I purchased it myself. There's been times that I've gone to the expense space and I'm like CBD, actual, and that's what I've been doing a lot lately. I think the last time I bought like off the street 3 weeks ago, it was lemonade. I've been trying to use this dispensary around the house.
So nobody has any sort of
That
motives to do any harm to you, to get back at you because you owe them money. But going back to your time in North Carolina, there's nobody that would want to cause harm to you or to your family that you can think of. Any person that you got sideways with when you were running with the wrong crowd? Is there nobody like that at all?
No. I know Daniel's the one from North Carolina. I know that therapy with him. Daniel's the one from North Carolina. I know that I have caught him cheating multiple times. I have been in contact with his exes before because of it. I remember I might do pull messages where his ex was pretty much saying that send him back home. I miss my best friend. It's one paragraph. Like I can't really tell you, but like I told Cheryl, I was like, he's a good man, he's a good husband, he's a good father, and you don't miss out is what I told her. So any type of altercation between me and somebody else, okay, would have been over him and probably to another woman. But at that time, I didn't ever have a kid something. I never had a kid something. Nobody even knew him. I didn't even know what they looked like. So I mean, I'm confused.
And who all lives in the house that your mother? Who lives there? I understand the kids, but adults.
Paul.
Who's Paul?
His little brother.
That's your brother. Who's the gentleman that's sitting here with you?
And Daniel and me. And
Daniel is.
my fiance. And then my stepdad, my mom.
Is that?
3 dogs. Okay, kids.
Tell me about Paul. Where's Paul do?
I just have a job with me at the warehouse. He's honestly studying to take his ass back to take. She told him really different. I haven't had much communication with my brother over the past year. He went down different roads. I went down different roads. Me and my mom were on and off. So like, it's myself and the family, which is kind of where North Carolina gave me the wall. He just finished his GED. He works 2 to 10 shifts.
So he goes in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, comes home at 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah, so like he's leaving, it's like 1:20 he leaves, and by the time he gets home, it's about 2:30.
Is he driving himself there?
Yeah, he drives a white Silverado at the house, and which is my stepdad's truck. I just have permission to use it. I'm supposed to be taking a look at his truck from midway sometimes in a week.
Is that her at the house now?
Yes, the Silverado's at the house, and my doctor's at the house.
And Paul was at the house when Quinton was missing?
Yeah, because I got up and was regular screaming for anybody, and everybody just come help me. My home.
Where was he?
My brother was upstairs in his room. That went to the other side of the elevator, please come help me, I get my queen. I think one of the very first things I said to him was, please tell me for some weird reason he got him upstairs. No. He got me another child.
Is Quinton a kid that, I know you mentioned he talks himself to sleep. Does he cry? Does he cry himself to sleep ever?
And he's like I can't even explain it. He just lays like, babbling. He goes on and on and on. Like, most of the time it's not even words. And if it is, it's more like E.T. Like,
what kind of relationship does Paul have with Quinton?
they're playful. When Paul gets home, if I need help, he is very helpful with the kids. If I need him to watch kids while I'm cooking, if I need him, anything like that, cleaning wise, or he'll just go in there and lay on the floor and play with them, the kids, with the dog and kids, and toys. That's when we live though. Maybe hang out and play an hour more a day. Because normally I kind of try to keep all my kids inside the house. But I was installed up, running through the house, trying to clean up everything all day long.
Any reason at all for Paul to leave the house after he got home? What time he gets off work at 10, so what time do you want to get home?
At 10:30, and he gives his friend a ride when it's like 11.
So what time did you get home last night?
10:40.
10:40. Do you know whether he left the house at 10:40?
He didn't go nowhere.
So from 10:40 until you went and woke him up at about 9 o'clock?
He was upstairs in his room.
And no indication that he left. You didn't hear the door open, nothing.
The door opening, the truck didn't even look like it was in the slightest way at all.
So from your perspective, 100% Paul was at the house from 10:40 until you woke him up this
Yes.
morning?
Yes.
Okay. What was Paul's initial reaction when you went up and said, hey, Quinton's missing?
He jumped up and he kind of looked like freaking out. He was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean he's missing? I was like, he's missing. I can't find him. Come help me. And I started running back down the stairs. And opening closets, everything, under the sinks, everything. And Paul was out there running and chasing and looking. And finally looked at him and I was like, come on.
So the first phone call that went out, was that a phone call that Paul made or a call that you made?
The first phone call that went out was when I made the nanny. When I got up and I shut the door and I looked, checked on the kids and I noticed that he wasn't there. That was the very first phone call that went out about Quinton being gone. The second one would have been to Michelle or whatever. And when she said that she didn't see anybody coming to the house and nobody picked him up, didn't see nothing like that. And then she came over and tried to help look as well. And she was like, you want to check the closets again? I was like, you can call cops. Let me call the cops. You can call the cops. The cops were called by 9:30.
And you made that call?
Yes. Let me call them.
Okay. Did Danny make any calls?
He attempted, I think he was trying to, but something was going on with his phone. Which while I was limited to making the call.
And let's talk about Danny. So how long have you and Danny been dating? Or have you been engaged?
We've been together for almost 2 years, engaged for the past year.
So Danny and Bubba, they're aware of each other?
They have never met or spoke to each other at all. I don't even think. I know Danny knows what Bubba looks like. Bubba don't know what Danny looks like. I don't know. I'm aware. So there has been no altercations between Danny or my other two, or the other fathers for my kids. There's no altercations between them at all. I try to be the middle person about everything.
So what's Danny's routine? Any given day, what's his daily routine? What's he do?
Daily routine. If we got to work, he's up normally about 5. He gets ready to start taking the kids to babysitters about 5:30. Because normally I'm going to sleep for like 2 minutes. Because I said, normally I'm dressed. Then we go to work. We get off.
No, right, work together.
Yes, we work the same shift, 6 to 2. 6 a.m. to 2, 2:30.
Today just happened to be your day off.
Today just happened to be. I was at school yesterday and I wasn't going to work. So about that, when he gets off, we can't leave the warehouse at all once we get there. So there's no going out for something for lunch or nothing like that. So when he gets off, we normally stop by the convenience or gas station or some drinks, snacks, sometimes snacks for kids or dinner. And then we go straight from there to pick up the kids. We go with the kids, and we go home. Daddy normally cooks dinner while I'm getting the kids adjusted for me at home. So when I take them inside.
Last night, did you cook this spaghetti last night?
No, I cooked spaghetti last night because no seasoning.
No seasoning.
No seasoning.
So when Danny got home from work last night, at what time?
4:30? No, we left work together yesterday for my wisdom tooth because I know I wasn't going to do the job. They were going to judge me or whatever. So we were home early yesterday. We didn't pick up the kids until 4:30. No one that. What did y'all do when you got from the time you got home until 4:30? Just hanging out. Did you look at that? We did clean up the laundry, sitting in the meat up for us. We got cut up the sausages and mushrooms or whatever.
And over there in the house together.
Yeah, we were there together all the time. I think we went up to the store once for a year. That's it.
What time would that have been?
Probably 3:45, right before we had to go.
And then did you leave the house at any other time? Once you went to get the kids, you came home, you ate the spaghetti. Did Danny leave between that time and 5:45 this morning? Yeah, never at all. He stayed at the house. How do you know that?
I didn't see one bed.
He was beside you.
He was on bed. We sleep in the same bed. We only have one side of the house, so we got the kitchen. And we only really used to cook and obviously clean up. We got our bathroom, then there's the doorway to our bedroom. And that bedroom is just like pretty much like one big old studio bedroom. We had one side of the room is like the kids' sleep/living room, and then the other side is our bed. Whatever. That's the only side of the house we had. I can say for a fact that he was there when it was like the bed pissing me off. Now we do anything this week.
Now, who physically picked Quinton up and put him in the playpen last night?
And I did. I put him in there after we ate, bathed, everything, lay down, had the tablet set up for him and everything. I was like, I shouldn't tell you. When I took that away, he was like, for about 40 minutes.
And what time did you take that one away?
9:50.
9:50.
9:52.
Was he asleep at that point, or are you still battling at
He
that
was
point?
battling at that point. He didn't fall asleep till about 10:30,
Yeah.
10:40. But then he still, I took it away, that's when I was I can't even make a noise to me.
So during that time, when you hear him battling, you don't go there and check on him, you just hear him.
Yeah, we heard about it all the time, but whatever. The way that it is set up, I was like, check on like I said, that's on the medicine. So I'm just hearing the Bible. It's when it gets quiet that I check. That's when I'm worried. So when it got quiet, that's when we really gonna check 12 something before I left to go get some orange. So I checked again. Sleep.
Where is Danny?
Thank you. I think we need to take a brief pause. I'm going to ask the jurors to step into the jury room.
Who's exiting? State in any way, shape, or form. This really has more to do with Zane and Scott at this point. So I'm just asking if maybe they could bleep it or modify it or in some way, shape, or form, change what happens before they send it out. I know we're on a 30-minute delay. They have a few minutes where they can do that and at least edit that. That's all I'm asking, is just to protect the children's identities. And other than that, like I said, I understand the state has to do what it has to do.
First, I do understand that you're not trying to affect how the state presents its case. I get that. And you bring up the point that we do have a 30-minute delay with the media. So I would ask the media to not publish full dates of birth of the children. You can use the birth year, and not to publish first and last names of the other two children.
And that seems reasonable. It doesn't hinder the state, and it does protect the children. That's really my only concern.
Okay, very good. We'll proceed in that way. And so let's, Mr. Dean.
I'm sorry, far be it from me to intervene on behalf of Court TV here, but I did say their full names in opening statement. That's been released. I think their full names are part of the public record even before we got into this week. So I don't know, imposing an order on them to redact like a last name every time somebody says it, I think is maybe a little burdensome. I think it's kind of water under the bridge at this point.
I do think it's burdensome. I do think it's water under the bridge. I think that we're going to proceed as we have been. So I am not going to impose that restriction on the media. It's a 30-minute delay. I'm not going to impose that restriction on the media. That information, some of that information is already in the record at this point. We're going to proceed. Mr. Hilliard, I do understand your concern for the identities of the younger children or the other children being not published, but we're going to proceed as we have been.
I made it up again. I understand.
Thank you, sir. All right. Please bring the doors out.
I've never seen him sleep no more. I tried to.
So Dan gets up 5 o'clock in the morning, this morning specifically, gets up at 5. Do you hear him leave the house?
No, I didn't hear him leave at all, which is why I told him, I said, well, if you did drop him off and you did tell, I don't remember if you told him somewhere. I didn't even know he got out of bed this morning. So,
You normally sleep that heavy? You don't?
no, I think it had a lot to do with was just tired, pain, everything. So I was like, I was out when I was finally out.
And Quinton, he didn't get any medications last night. He wasn't sick. No Robitussin, no cough syrup. Nothing like that. He didn't have
No,
anything.
they all the kids have been a little stuffy after just a change of weather. So I'm gonna medicine, I'm a fever, like sound like you're about to die.
Do they, where do you keep all this?
In my bathroom cabinet or in the kitchen cabinet, I'm sleep.
Does he ever go in there by himself?
Then he can get up there if he wanted to. Even with the little stools and chairs, his little, the dude's short and bow-legged. Okay, he's like this, and he stands up his head, maybe a little bit above my knee.
When did you call? What time this morning did you call? Dan?
Yeah, and it was, I remember looking at the phone while I was yelling and I couldn't find Quinton, and it was like 9:17 at that point.
Was that before or after 911? Did you call? Dan?
That was before, and then when I looked around again, I still couldn't find him. I called again. We called 911 after that. No one was called by 9:30. I realized Quinton was missing by 9. That's like 30 minutes later. We trying to find him, see if I could locate him, and then call Danny, see if he knew anything. And he did. So I called the cops. Then Michelle, she came over right away. It was like, I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to act right now, man.
And is Danny, what is his normal routine? If you get up, if he leaves, well, this is a little odd because you didn't go to work with him this morning.
And I'll stop the playback there at 28:04.
Okay. Thank you. So I think this is as good a time as any to take a break. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to release you now for a lunch break. We're going to break. The time now is 12.
I've introduced as State's Exhibit 13 as lactation room, second video. Give me 1 second.
Now, subject to the redactions, Mr. Dean, I discussed, no objection.
Okay, thank you. You may proceed, Mr. Dean.
All right, I've displayed on the monitor the opening frame from lactation room second video. Whose feet are we looking at here?
Leilani's and Agent Snyder's.
Okay. And I will play. I'll begin the playback just from the very beginning here.
Haven't been, since last night and Tuesday, so Monday night,
Yeah.
gave him a cookie.
Yeah, we have a cookie and then play Tyler, we played and everything up text on, we wiped it out. It didn't look like a whole bunch. I didn't change filters yet. I was like, just change it more.
What kind of cookie was
It's a vanilla, with vanilla cookies. Yeah, we got a great announcement.
it? But you recall, that's nothing else that he's gotten sick on or anything in the past 2 or 3 days. Nothing at all.
Anything about sickness at all, and then like,
So pause the playback at 37 seconds. And Your Honor, may I remain seated for this portion of the question?
Yes.
Thank you. Was this agent, the Special Agent Snyder, asking her some questions designed to get at the origin of the apparent vomit on the pillowcase?
Yes.
And what did she say there about that?
That it had been a cookie that she had given Quinton prior to this day, and that she thought she cleaned it all up, and that he must have vomited or stood up on the pillow.
She was saying that was something that happened on Monday night.
I believe so.
Okay. Let's just play that bit again. We'll take it from the top. First of all, what day was this?
This was a Wednesday.
Wednesday, October 5th.
Yeah.
So that would have been, so last night and Tuesday, so Monday night, gave him a cookie.
yeah, we have a cookie and then play Tyler, we played and everything up text on, we wiped it out. It didn't look like a whole bunch. I didn't change filters yet. I was like, just change it more.
What kind of cookie was
It's a vanilla, with vanilla cookies. Yeah, we got a great announcement.
it? But you recall, that's nothing else that he's gotten sick on or anything.
I'm going to pause it again at 30 seconds. I'm sorry to belabor the point, but I just want to make sure we're clear on what is being said here. Did we hear her say that he had spit up some of that cookie on Monday night, that she had wiped off the pillowcase, but had not yet changed it?
Yes.
Okay. Resuming playback at 30 seconds.
In the past 2 or 3 days. Nothing at all.
Anything about sickness at all, and then like a month ago, we had ear infection.
Okay.
I know that Zane has an ear infection now. Now, if they did, we're passing it back and forth. If he did throw it after I went to bed last night, I don't know. We got this morning, there was nothing there for me to look at. I don't know.
So just to kind of rehash some of this stuff, and summary, there's no one that has any sort of motivation to do harm to you or any of your family. You don't have any sort of financial debts, related to drug use. No one that wants anything done to you or any of your family as a result of something that you've done. Correct?
No. Nobody that could at all. I could sit here and look at you.
I'm not sure if Daffy wants to go nice and slow. I'm not sure. But you dirty mofo. Right, here we go. Just in case you do want to, all you need to do is go to settings, people. Go to settings, go to playback speed, and then go to 0.75. That'll slow it down for you. All right, that's all you need to do. If you're struggling to hear, 1.5 is perfectly fine for me. I would probably increase it if it was watching on my own. So just go to either normal or 0.75, and you'll be fine. Or even if you want slower again, 0.5. And then once it's done, come back to normal. It's fine. So there you go. If you do need to go nice and slow, like Daffy says. I know you're kidding. There you go.
In your state, but I top of my head thinking I'm not thinking of anybody that would actually want to hurt us or Davey or my kids, especially Quinton. You know, it's never sweet that baby is.
And your mom, your mom, outstanding lady, does
She
that.
is.
No, I know that I was just showing for Daffy because I thought Daffy needed it. I mean, because she doesn't know how to do it, or anyone else that doesn't know how to do it. So it wasn't aimed at you, G. So, so if anyone else needs to do it, just go to settings.
The upstanding lady, she has a long, drawn out criminal history. A couple weeks ago, me and her did get into it.
I'm going to stop the playback at 2 minutes in. And I'm going to advance to 2 minutes and 6 seconds in. Just giving 6 seconds to the file there, Your Honor. And I'll resume playback at 2 minutes and 6 seconds into the file.
But she said, well, one basket when I moved there, both the kids were there, so I just got the kids, and I went to her, try to distance herself. She followed me to the room, and she pushed me again. I called the cops and everything. Y'all probably didn't pull up police report. Or whatever. She pushed me again, so I called the cops again. I wasn't calling the cops to get somebody in trouble. I was calling the cops to prevent the negativity and violence around the children. Okay. So that was the most recent that.
What did we just hear her describe? There was that an altercation with her mother that had happened recently?
Yes.
Now, it was the case that everybody was saying that the defendant's mother was out of town during the period of October 4th, October 5th, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to advance to 5 minutes into this file and resume playback from there.
No chance that you, because you're wisdom tooth and, whatever that you're taking, it's just ibuprofen is what we're thinking.
Yeah, that's what they prescribed me. I don't know what shots they give me, no, they gave me 3 different shots on the side. My whole time my face was numb, even like 6 hours. It's still not really here.
Did you, in your sleep, as you're sleepwalking, did you grab Quinton and let him go to the store with you because you were concerned about him and left the house at midnight to go to the store? Okay. You have a history of things with sleepwalking or anything with your mental health?
No, the last time I slept off, I was like 8 years old, maybe. Sorry, and 8 years old, and somehow I ended up outside for a little.
So that hasn't happened.
Yeah, it hasn't happened since
30 years old.
Yeah, since I was, yeah.
So there's no possibility that you, without knowing, took one in the car and took it to somebody else's house or where nothing like that could happen.
No, at all.
I want you to know that there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes right now. That we're doing everything feasibly possible. We're going to have more questions. We're going to continue down, whatever path, these interviews, what we find in the house, what we find off the cell phone records, whatever leads. So if at any point, we come back and have follow-up questions, it's just to get some clarity and some guidance on what the next step should be.
To be honest with me, I have nothing right now to do.
Well,
You have nothing to do with my baby right now to do.
there's a lot of people working, and we can promise you that. And there's a lot of resources that are in play. We're doing everything that we can.
So I'm gonna fucking bag.
So it's not, we have,
She does respond to monkey a lot. If somebody does see somebody, everybody's able to say, we're like, he responds to monkey a lot. He don't really respond to Quinn. He responds to monkey. He's going to call me for him before he's looking at her as monkey.
we have a victim specialist. Her name's Nancy Davies. I'm going to walk out here now, reach out to her. But unfortunately, we're going to get you back, to your house whenever we can. That's going to be a long time. So if it's okay with you, just, let us know what you need. We're just some more. But if you just hold tight, we're going to just come close we can, while you're here. If anything you need like right now, anything we can do for you. We're just more.
I can like really suicide, so I'm serious. So like,
Yeah, we can do that. Anything else that you need right now? Okay.
There's not really an officer out there, maybe something to if you need anything, just call her.
Anything else you got right now?
But do you have any issues with us kind of just going through your phone? Do you have messages, any more contact info?
I don't have copy of the phone for like here.
If you have any issues, just let us know.
Let's see. We have like a car, so you can set form.
We have one of those.
How do you say your name?
Leilani.
I can imagine what you're going through. But you just, you have to trust the process. And we're going to do whatever we can to get you the assistance. But truth be told, we just have to, work through the process, the steps, wherever you leave. Whatever we can. In the same respect, though, you got to understand that you got to be completely transparent and honest with us.
Yeah.
I think you have at this point. So if there's anything, that you think of, that could remotely lead to something that's, horrendous as this happened, you need to let us know. So it's something that you're not proud of, that you're ashamed of, that you've been involved in, that you've done. Like, we're not here, to judge you. We're here to find one, and we're going down safely. So that means exposing something that you've done.
I don't have company or companies out there. I don't know that. I don't look at people always go, this didn't ever work. If I gotta do it, then I'm gonna see that.
I'll stop the playback at 10:42, 10 minutes and 42 seconds. You were gone from the room for a moment there,
I was.
and then we just saw you return.
Yes.
What were you doing?
Grabbing a consent form.
For a consent to search the phone?
Yes.
Which she had just orally agreed to that,
She did.
but you wanted to make a paper record of it.
Yes.
Resuming playback at 10 minutes and 42 seconds into the file.
So, L-E-I-L-A-N-A, right?
L-A-N-I.
L-A-N-I. And all this is just, for us to use your consent. So we're going to, that's I am over.
Yes.
All right, so did you turn off the recording at that point?
Yes.
Okay. I want to just go back to one thing in here for
So that,
clarification purposes. At 5 minutes in, when there's a point where Special Agent Snyder is asking her about the possibility that she sleptwalked somewhere or something like that. And we hear him ask if that's something that could have happened at midnight or 12 a.m. when she went to Circle K, right? That's what he asked?
Yeah.
No, at this point, I just want to be clear. She had not described a midnight trip to Circle K. And this was a reference by Snyder to the 1-something a.m. Chevron story. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So he was just kind of getting the time and location wrong?
Yeah.
As to
What
what
it
she had
sounds
said?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just briefly play that bit again, starting at 4 minutes and 59 seconds.
no chance that you will cause you to listen to, so, whatever that you're taking, and it's just hobby over as well.
That's the nigger's bag. I don't know what shots they were going to go. They were doing shots on the side. Rebels that like this was going to be like 6 hours. It's still not over here.
Did you, in your sleep, as your sleep off, did you grab one and let him go towards you, or you were concerned about him about the house? And then it was okay.
He was talking about Chevron words out there. Is that right? Am I understanding that correctly?
That's the way I took it.
Okay, thank you. And I stopped the playback at 5 minutes and 32 seconds. All right, so then that first interview in the lactation room ends with you all getting her consent to search her phone and her signing to memorialize that.
Yes.
Okay. After this interview that we just watched, did you all go through the phone?
Yes.
All right. And how did you do it initially?
So the other teams had also asked their people, Paul and Daniel, the same questions if they would go through their phones. So we had all planned to do a extraction of the cell phones in our system. I believe at that time I just manually went through the phone.
Okay. I know you're not a forensics
No.
person, but what is involved in doing an extraction of the phone?
So it's a big computer system, and you plug the cell phone into the computer system so you can make a copy of it. And it's a one at a time system, and it usually takes at least an hour per phone.
Okay. And who was doing this at the precinct that day?
Sergeant Coleman,
Okay. Did he do that with all 3 of their phones?
he did.
All right. So at the time that the defendant consented to your looking through her phone, you saying the machine was occupied with one of the other phones?
Yes.
Okay. And so you went through it manually, meaning what?
I just actually took the physical phone and went through it myself.
And while you were doing that, did you see in there a text that the defendant had sent to Daniel Youngkin the night before, saying something about I'm turning on to 204 now, or I'm about to go to 204?
Yes.
Okay. And was that something was that a trick that she had mentioned to you in this initial interview in the lactation room?
No.
Did you and Special Agent Snyder then go interview her again specifically about that?
Yes.
Okay. And where did that interview take place?
In the interview room.
Did you ask her about that text during this interview?
We did.
And what did she say that text was about? What was the initial story about that text?
She said that she had headed to 204 was the text, and that meant that she was going to the drug dealer's house or their location to meet up to pay off a drug front.
Did she say how much the drug front was for?
$20.
Now, in the lactation room interview, she had given an account for the 1-something a.m. trip, correct?
Yes.
And what was it again?
That she went to meet Misty to get orange gel at the Chevron.
Now, did that story involve her making any phone calls?
She had mentioned that she called Misty, and I believe she also said in that interview that she tried to call the Chevron or the Circle K.
Okay, called the Circle K to see whether they had it.
Yes.
And which call was she saying had come before first? And
She tried the gas station before Misty.
did you look through her phone between interviews after the lactation room interview, but before the next one,
Yes.
to see whether you could see any record of those phone calls in her phone?
I believe I did at that time, or maybe one of the later ones.
Okay. In any case, whenever you look for that, whenever that might have been, did you see any record of those phone calls in her phone?
No.
Okay. Now, you've talked about going through the phone manually, like with it in your hand, scrolling through it,
Yes.
and seeing the 204 text, right?
Yes.
Did you later have an opportunity to review the full Cellbrite extraction?
I did.
Okay. And Cellbrite is the machine that Sergeant Coleman uses to do this?
Yeah, it's the system they use.
Did you find any record of those calls there during that more in-depth review of the phone?
No, there was no call to the gas station or Misty.
Do you see in front of you 3 exhibits marked as states 14, 15, and 16?
Yes.
Can you tell us what those 3 exhibits are?
Yeah, 14 is the consent to search form for Leilani Simon's cell phone. 15 is the consent to search form for Paul Simon's cell phone. And 16 is the consent to search for Daniel Youngkin's cell phone.
In those consent forms, were they all completed that day, October 5th,
They were.
by these 3 different individuals
Yes.
with the interviewers that were interviewing them?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would move these in as states 14, 15, and 16.
Objection, Your Honor.
Now, returning to this, the next interview in the interview room that you've been talking about. So you asked her about the 204 text, and she said she was just going to pay off a $20 drug front.
Yes.
And for what type of drug did she say that was?
Marijuana.
Who did she say went on that trip?
Just her.
When she asked who exactly it was that she met,
Yes, she did.
and how did she identify this person?
She referred to him as Red.
Red?
Red, like
She
the color.
Like the color, you said? Sorry. Did she give you a description of Red?
She described him as a light-skinned black male.
Did she say when she had left the house?
Around 10:30 p.m.
And did she say where she had met Red to make this payment?
By the Flacco's Tacos.
And did it later turn out upon your review of the phone that this payment was actually made via Cash App?
Yes.
Now, what is Cash App?
It is a kind of like an online baking application.
Do you have to be physically present with someone to make a Cash App payment to them?
No, you don't.
Can it be done remotely?
It can.
Like if I'm at home and I owe you money, you're at your house, can I make a Cash App payment?
Yes.
to you? At the time that she was saying this, though, did you know that this payment had been made via
No.
Cash App?
I do not.
Did she explain in any way why, if the drug front was to be repaid via Cash App, why she had to go meet the guy to do it?
I believe she said that she gave him cash, like
Okay.
physical cash.
Oh, is that right?
I believe so.
Did she give any particular reason in this first interview in the interview room for why she left the house at this particular time to do this thing? What was going on that caused her to decide to do this?
I think at this point she had mentioned that her and Daniel had had an argument and she wanted to get away from the house for a while.
Was she asked during this first interview in the interview room whether there had been any sort of accident that caused Quinton to be injured or anything like that?
I think we asked her that in every single interview.
And what was her consistent response to that, if it was consistent?
That there was not an accident that she knew about.
Was she asked in this interview whether Quinton was okay before she left to go see her drug dealer?
She was.
And what did she say to that?
That he was asleep in his playpen.
And was she asked whether he was okay when she got back from this trip?
Yes.
And what did she say to that?
That he was still in his playpen, perfectly fine.
Did she describe actually going up and interacting with him at either of these times?
Yeah, she kind of showed us Quinton's reaction to her petting, or I guess brushing his hair across his face.
What did she say about that?
She said that he kind of reacted and nuzzled up in the blanket.
Was she asked whether Danny was behaving abnormally in any way when she got home from the drug dealer? Is this something might have happened when she was gone?
Yes.
And what did she say about that?
I believe she said he was still in bed watching a movie like normal.
Was she asked whether Danny was behaving abnormally or suspiciously the next morning when she called him to tell him that Quinton was missing?
Yes.
And what did she say about that?
That he was normal.
And was she asked whether Danny ever displayed any violent tendency toward the children?
Yes, she was.
What did she say about that?
That Daniel was scared to even pop the kids.
Now, in this first interview in the interview room, was there a period of time where you and her looked at her Life 360 application on her phone together?
Yes.
And she was at this time saying that she had met Misty for Oragel at the Chevron, right?
Yes.
Where is the Chevron in relation to the Azalea Motel Plaza?
They are right next door.
Can you tell me what it looked like on the Life 360 application? Could you, as you're looking at the phone, could you tell whether her phone had been at one or the other location?
No, it was too broad of a picture frame.
So to you, it just kind of looked like she'd been in the general area, but you can't tell whether it was Azalea or Chevron.
Yes.
And was the investigative team later able to get more precise location data from the phone than you were able to see on the screen during that interview?
Correct.
And at this time, I would publish what is on State's Exhibit 13 as interview room 1542 to 1639, something shy of an hour.
All right. We'll proceed with that. Let me just turn to the jurors. So this next tape is gonna, this next video is gonna go for about an hour. Is this audio and video?
It is, right?
Okay, so it's gonna go about an hour. We just got back from lunch. What I anticipate doing is that we'll see this play and then we'll take a break. But if y'all need to stand and stretch right now, feel free to do so. Let's buckle in. I'm going to say, if I get turning to say.
1542 to 1630.
You talked a little bit about using drugs, using marijuana. So last night, was there any chance that you were having some issues with your wisdom teeth and needed to go get something to ease the pain last night?
I did. I got worried out. I was right there like at the end of a Golden Road for anyone because I don't have money going to get some expensive over the counter. I don't have it.
And what time was it?
It was like, I got home at 1:25. And
1:25.
I was on 12 minutes. So you going like 16 was not right there.
There's some text messages in your phone. You can send over the phone.
Yeah.
To the phone. And there's a message in there. It's an outgoing message from you that says turning on 204. And that's at 10:40.
Yeah.
10:40 p.m.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that before. So what? 10:40 p.m. Where were you at 10:40 p.m.?
If I was turning on 204, I was probably going to go pay back or something. Like I front for him. To be honest with you, I was going to go pay back $20 front for him. For Danny. Danny, that's who King is. That's Danny. Whatever. He had $20 all that stuff. And that's why I left, because we went to sleep at 10:30. You know, and it only takes us 12 minutes to get to a 4. If it takes 16.
So that would have been important for us to know before. That's why we have to understand everything. And you just, you have to be kind of open book.
I wasn't
good or bad.
Yeah, it's not like I was trying to be, but I'm trying to replay everything over and over, and I've been doing it all day. All day. I forgot about that. That was not on my mind. My mind is, this is where I went, this is what I did, this is the last time I see my son, and you didn't hear no.
And you mentioned he was crying a lot.
Yeah, he was no.
Was that abnormal?
No, it's not like crying, right? Like, it's not crying. He just, talking to himself, a constant baby talk. It's almost like he's singing to himself. You know, but he's always done that. He's always done that. From the time he started crawling and actually saying mama or dada or drink or eat or anything, he's always done the la 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 when he's asleep.
Now, you can understand there's a lot of resources being expended.
I know there is. I know there's not. For as long as it's been, you've always had to expand the search between something's happened.
But you have to help us. You understand that?
I do. It is weird. I mean, after we picked up the kids up for 30, me or him, none of the kids wanted us. I can wait for them 100%. After we picked them up for 30, all 3 of the babies were at that house. The room's one that they showered, ate, and went to bed. I'm in 2 rooms, over down, and then 204, 204, and then over down.
Let's talk about that. Let's look at 204. What time did you leave the house?
That time, I texted him and said I was turning on 204. I had already been gone. That means I was literally turning on 204. So I've only been gone like 10 minutes.
So what would have been your route? You left your house off Buckhalter.
If I called her, I took 17. It's possible on the way. Yeah, it's possible on the way back. I may not have taken 17. I could have taken 16 because there's been road work at 204.
So you went south down 17 to Buckhalter.
Yeah, I took the highway back.
And then when you said on this text message, you said you turned on 204.
Like, okay, so I'm on 17.
Heading towards 95.
Yeah, like when I say I turned on 204, I turned 17 and before Walmart and that bridge. And that's me turning on 204. That's where that would have been my location right there by that bridge, turning on 204.
But turn on 204 in what direction?
Going toward
Just an hour south out to 95.
south towards 95.
95.
Like over there by the Flacco's Tacos and Harley Davidson shop. That's where I met the person. I'll pay back $20 to.
Okay. Who's that person that you
He goes by Red.
read?
He goes by Red. I don't know his name. He's a tall, light-skinned dude. Tall, light-skinned black dude.
You met him. So if you sent that at 10:40, it's a 5 minute.
Yeah, and I was already heading back by the time that.
So at 10:40, you texted him that you were turning on 204 to go meet Red?
Yeah, like I'm turning on 204 now, like I'm about to meet him. That's what I was trying to tell him.
And at that point, you didn't get anything.
No, I just paid him $20. I gave him $20 and I left. And it was a front from a couple days ago. A few days ago, I think we got that $8. We get $10 on the day. We owe 20.
How much more money do you owe Red?
Nothing. That was it. That was just that $20. There's when you receive messages, otherwise somebody blowing up my phone or Danny's phone about us owing money.
You don't know anybody else anymore. Just ask you this question.
Yeah, no, we didn't. I don't like that was handled. That was that front 2 days later paid back. That's what that was. That's like I don't do fronts like that. That was on his name, on his front. I didn't like doing that when he had to pay it back.
Was last night, was it abnormal for Quinton to cry as much as he did last night?
No, he wasn't crying. He was like lying loud. Lou. So he did that and got quiet like 10:30. By 10:30 and looked over there, he was knocked out. Little cheeks, painful, snuggled in the blanket. So.
Where do y'all keep the weed when y'all do have it?
Outside. We got it outside in the safe box.
Is there anything else that would be inside the house?
We don't smoke cigarettes inside. We don't smoke weed inside. We don't take it inside. We don't do that.
What about Paul?
Falkman.
Is he gonna do that?
And he smokes. I don't think I'm sorry. I know he keeps it in his truck.
That's right.
As far as I know, he keeps it in his truck. That was one of the rules that my parents wanted him to do.
But it's just weed though?
Just weed. Nothing else. Like, listen, my mom's a convicted felon. There's no way I'm going to sit there and continuously push the buttons of these people.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Okay. They were in substance abuse for.
I had other things I used to do, other things I have from the smell of coke, or at one point I was on meth, or whatever. I got all that stuff in my home. And then when I had that and I had mental health issues, I just went ahead and told the counselor that sometimes I just want to go back to feeling that numb. So now I got substance abuse counseling. So,
Did either Paul or Danny ever have issues with that too?
I don't think so. Danny? No, I don't think so. Not Danny. No, Danny's very petite. Most I do is drink beer. Maybe hit one once or twice. That's all he does.
Was there a reason that you went to go pay instead of Danny?
I was there with money, and I wasn't giving Danny the money to do so.
Why is that?
Because there's times that he can go and spend it on alcohol versus what we need to do to him. Spend it on.
Okay.
That's
How
how
often does that happen?
he drinks Danny.
Does that ever become a problem?
No, he doesn't get drunk. He's not like a bullet drinking where he doesn't do that. He was like a 6-pack beer a day. That's what he does.
How much did you have last night?
Last night he had a 6-pack as normal at the end. She was supposed to fireball too.
But it wasn't anything abnormal.
Nothing out of the way. It was only down 4 hours.
Did Paul know that y'all were leaving? Or you were leaving for a second? Or was he already upstairs?
He was already upstairs. When Paul got home, I was like, no, he does come down there and come over or whatever. He didn't last night. He just came in for a minute, said, hey, you got his all going upstairs. So,
Is Paul here, Quinton crying, he's upstairs?
No.
He can't hear him cry.
nothing upstairs. I can't hear nothing. Like when we used to be upstairs, you could come and bang on my door as hard as you wanted to. I couldn't hear you. So I can't hear anything on the door. So we need your child. And from that, that's why we moved from there down there. So we're not constantly worried about stairs or stuff like that.
How old are you?
I'll be 23 in November.
So you've been through a lot as a 23-year-old.
I don't understand how there's a lot of reasons why we can't sleep. My mother's been in and out of my life. I watched her OD and get buried and fucking leaves in the ditch where her friends and his love is there. But there's so many situations. There's no people understand that I would never cause any harm towards any of my kids the way I have been hurt. I just won't. I sit here and I do have issues with this because they treat all the blame on me. Anything that goes wrong, I take it in. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I really shouldn't. That little boy last night, he was so sweet at that fountain and said there's only bubbles. He wanted to play with the bubbles. That's all he wants to do is play with bubbles and go to the park and play with the ball and halfway. You just want to come and take your happy baby. Remember that surgeon sergeant is or whatever. It really hurt my feelings. So they were saying you don't think that your mental health is going to make you do something and you completely not know about it. No, I do not think that.
I don't understand.
I don't think that there's anything like that. That was like I don't care how many different personalities so somebody says I have. Every single one of them is the same. I gave birth to Quinton alone in the hospital room. Alone, nobody there. I was in the hospital for 2 days. That is my boy. That is my baby. They took me my baby back home. Okay. Is that right? This is right. I'm trying to the hardest. The more I try to get on track so I can be what these kids need. The more life doesn't get me. This time it was like you just blew me up. I can't. I don't know. I don't find out the time when the hospital after this. Maybe she'll let you all. I think I'm more danger to myself. No, right now.
Take a deep breath right now. Any water right now? Take a deep breath. Deep breath.
Paused it at 15:54 and 43 seconds on the timestamp in the top left corner. I'd like to ask you a couple questions about the defendant's demeanor in this and other interviews, okay?
Yep.
Was her demeanor consistent throughout any given interview?
Absolutely not.
Can you tell us why you say that?
I mean, as we saw in this interview, she would kind of get into these hysterical yelling rants.
And would that happen in response to any particular lines of questioning?
Sometimes when it kind of questioned her statement or her timeline, it would start to escalate into this.
And when she got like that, was it then difficult to get an additional question in?
Yeah, we would have to calm her down before she would engage back with us with a back and forth conversation.
Is it fair to say that during these interviews, when pressed on certain things, she would become histrionic and just kind of fill the room with noise?
Yes.
Resuming playback at 15:54:43.
I passed around from the house. And that's something I didn't want my kids. So when I found myself in a hard situation, I just took one thing I did. Mom, my mom. Not me. She has them. Until I start getting my stuff back together and come back here and get a decent job, got a car for myself on Mother's Day. Just trying to build myself up for these kids. And I'm still going to try my hardest no matter what. But I can't. I don't even know if it's okay. I just want to know if it's okay. I want sometimes to drive the camera to get just something to tell me he's okay. And nobody knows it by the time it hits tomorrow morning. It already been past the time when you're most likely to find a missing person. And if you pass it, after that, you're less likely, right? After the first 20 round.
We got people out there. Everyone's looking right now.
I just want to I'll take a bulldozer over to I don't care. I'm fine with me. I'll take everybody's freaking house down right now if I could.
Let's see some more. Some more.
I got water.
You've been through an entire lifetime of hurt in 23 years. And we can't sit here and even begin to think about the pain that you've experienced. So I'm sorry. I wish there was something we could do to help ease that pain. But truth be told, there's nothing that we can do. We're going to do everything we can to get you. It's just,
Whatever we can do to get my baby back. He's my baby.
but that's when you got the help. You know, when we initially talked to you, there was some stuff you didn't disclose in that initial conversation. And now you're back in here, kind of talking through, you and Danny going in depth, to it. And those are the kind of things that we long for. Call that a piece of the puzzle. But we have to know stuff like that. So anything like that, and you have to understand, there's so many other things going on besides what's going on in this interview right now. There are people, looking at cell phone data. There are people doing additional interviews. There's search warrants taking place. When it comes to a child and a child abduction, there's absolutely no stone, no belief that's not unturned. So I can I can 100% tell you that between the FBI and the Chatham County Police Department, we are going to find out what happened. I promise you that. You know, and it's, if we find that out, you know, an hour from now, or we find it out a year from now, we are going to figure this out. I can promise you that. Because there's nothing more important to us than finding, you know, Quinton and bringing the person to justice that's responsible for taking him out of your life. Okay? So I want to look you in the eye and tell you that. I need you to look me in the eye and tell me from this point forward, there's absolutely nothing.
I believe that is the 100%. I believe that is the only event when I do not disclose. It was only because I didn't think about it. That's not what I was thinking about at the time. I'm just like, this is like, no. And when he was in bed, he was asleep. No.
This is going to be hard. I'm going to ask you this. It's going to be hard. And you can't get frustrated with me because you got to understand we're doing a job. But when we first talked to you in the initial interview, there was no mention of him crying a lot. We mentioned that he was battling.
Hey, I believe he does a lot.
Just here 15 minutes ago in this interview room, you know, before you took off and this text message I turned on to before now, you mentioned that it was, I made that trip, you know, before he was crying. You know, and you described crying to the point where he was crying maybe abnormally. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but that's the way I interpreted it. That he was crying abnormally.
No, I think I said I left before, like, he was asleep. I left before. Like, it's not like I left and he was still awake. I left after he fell asleep. He was battling. When I came back in again, I checked with him again. He was still asleep. Crying? No. He does a little fuss. Did he cry? No. When I say crying, that's battling, fuss, or fussy noises. You know, it's the way I explained it for Zane and Quinton. It's not. None of my kids cry. They fuss. They scream. They say, you know, every kid cries. No, let me take that from him. I'm trying to mean that. No means every kid cries. Okay. No, he wasn't crying normally. It was just so very loud. Like he was trying to get somebody to come over there and give him the attention if you know the time. You know, he had a tablet with him too. It could have been, he could have been looking at something thinking it was funny. It's a kid approved YouTube for kids TV thing. You can't get on nothing at all that's, you know, bad for kids or anything like that. Whatever. So he could have been laughing at something like that, just like my oldest does. Or look, I don't. He was battling, fussing, crying. But when I found all that house, he was asleep. He was quiet. He was curled up with a blanket. He was quiet.
And what time did you say? 10:40 you turned on to it. What time did you get back to the house?
The house, 10:49, 50. That's not 10 minutes. 20 minutes, 22 minutes. Something like that.
What was Quinton?
He was still asleep.
And what was Zane doing?
He was laying on the bed with the towel on his face.
Okay. Was he asleep?
Yeah.
Okay. And then your cousin?
He was laying on the bed with a fire stick TV in his hand. You know what I'm saying?
You did something weird about him?
He was just laying there. Besides the fact that he was still fully dressed, and that's not normally him. But then again, there was a lot going on. He left work early. It wasn't he taken out, come to the house, clean up stuff, get dinner going, get the kids. So it was just me.
Does he have kids himself?
No, that's his daughter.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Besides her. Okay. How's he doing with her?
He does really good. She smells at him before she does me. I don't want to carry her.
He just stepped straight in the
And almost like died giving birth to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
She still has you. Or, yeah, she's still, yeah.
She's a normal way.
Does that
Zane is all about his papa. Quinn was my baby.
Yeah.
He was the one that come across my lap just like Sky does. Zane didn't come beside us. Daddy or Zane does. I didn't get that this morning.
And you said Paul had a pretty good relationship with him too?
Yeah, he's very good with my kids. If I need help, he's right there. No, is he like, I'll do it all for you? No. Maybe you watch sports on it? Yeah. You can take a bus out and play with the sports ticket? Yeah. You can teach about play soccer? Yeah.
So is there anything else, any sort of relevance that you want to talk to us about on the phone at all?
No. There's nothing there at all. Like I said, I'm going by 360. If you want to, it's on there. And it shows you my exact route that I took. When I came back, the time that I left the house, when I get back home, it shows everything. And it shows Danny's trips and everything too. The times and all. And dates.
So like you said, we got people working everywhere right now.
Well, you've been to a lot in your life. Now's not the time for us to. There's a lot I think that we can talk about. And we can get you in contact with folks that can provide you assistance, free of charge, to help you through everything that you've been through. But right now, it's not really light that situation because it's not lost on me what it is you've been through. But we've got a job to do. And you got to understand that bad news doesn't get better with time. Is there any chance that happened? No chance at all.
No, I put him down nothing. Unless something happened when I was not there, and I had no knowledge about, he was fine. When I got home, he was fine. He was asleep. He was curled up in that blanket. I touched his little hair, and he moved and rolled over. I'm telling you, he was fine.
So just help me understand, like, what type of accident could happen? Do you think that Danny may have done something? Because we have to agree that Quinton was crying. We have to agree that more than just that. Is it possible that you left the house because Quinton was crying so bad, and he came back and there was an accident that took place?
I think the only time Quinton actually cried out is when he's on the telephone. And he's laying there. Then he's not just down. No, I left the house, he was asleep. He was already asleep. Now, is it possible that Zane could have woken up for a second or something and not allowing the crowd because we would have turned the TV back on the phone and woke up and quit? Yeah, that's a possible thing. Danny doesn't know enough of patience, though. Not like that, not easily. Not to where I think that he would finally just get fed up with somebody crying and do something to make him shut up and not realize that they did do something too much. You know, he's not that type of person.
How easy that can be.
Yeah.
We're adults, we're all adults.
Yeah.
For a small child, it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
You just get frustrated with a small child and just grab them the wrong way.
Yeah.
An accident happens. The next thing you know, the child's unconscious. And it's a natural thing to do to panic. Instead of, because you're not thinking logically at that point. You know, all you're thinking about is, what has happened. You don't know what to do, but you panic.
I don't think that he would. I don't think he would at all. When I get back to the house, I'll reach for that thing. And I'm going to hair in his face. And all the time he turned. He was fine. He was a happy baby when he was asleep. When he was asleep. I don't know what to say. I don't know what something could have occurred. I don't want to think about probabilities, even though there's a million of them. But I don't know. And I don't want to think that he would do something like that. And like you said, he was not like Brett. I don't think he would have. Jenny was not acting out the way when I got home. He was not acting like fancy or nervous or mad or concerned or anything weird at all. He was not.
What about this morning?
This morning, I didn't see him.
What about since I went together?
Sam, he's been very calm now. It's probably because I'm not.
Is that a normal thing?
If I'm freaking out, he tries his hardest to stay calm. And then if it's the other way around, he's really freaking out. And I can call him screaming about him. I said, hey, if I'm closing, can't find him anywhere. The door is open, and I can't find him anywhere. I said, did you knock him off the shelf or something? Did you tell me that you were going to do that? Did not tell me? Like, did I not remember? He said, no, he was there. No, this morning. I said, you're 100% sure. He said, yes, I said, it's not even real. And there was a 3-hour difference between when he left this morning and when I woke up.
Do you think something could have happened in those 3 hours of dinner?
I don't know. On Lexus 60, it showed that he left at the time they said he did, and he got to work at the time they said he did, and he left and came home when I called. So, I don't think so. I got my boss's numbers as well if you would like that to confirm that Daniel was there.
We can pull it up on here.
Danny's your fiance. He's lived 23 hard years. You got a lot of life left in front of you. You're the mother of 3 beautiful children. Just you described. Nothing is more important than you being available and being the mother for these 3 children.
Yes.
So don't let any sort of motivation to protect Danny stand in the way of you being the mother that you need to be.
Like I said, he was not, the only thing I thought was weird is they said, well, when he goes off work, goes home, takes a shower, and immediately dresses because he's not that pregnant. He didn't do that yesterday. But I was in pain because he was helping me in the car into the house because I was a little lippy, you know. So I really don't.
And the kid then starts crying and you're not there to be the mother because you're suffering from having your wisdom teeth pulled out.
Like I'm telling you, like when he was asleep, when he laid down, and when I took that towel away, yeah, he did cry. That might be what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, he did cry. He screamed. He's like, TV on, as he says it. But by the time that I had smoked a cigarette, got dressed, and was getting ready to leave and checked on him, he was asleep. Eyes shut. Completely. Left his back, checked again. Moved his hair in his face. Still, he was good. He did a little. It was good. Same, he was good. I wasn't touching my tongue. I don't know. I don't have that.
You don't think there's any chance that an accident could have taken place and Danny just did something that they just.
If there was, I'm not going to say no because you never truly know anybody. Y'all read about that. But if there was nothing at all that made me suspect anything was wrong. Or even when I got up this morning, besides my front door being open. That's the first thing that threw me off front door. I went, okay, got up, shut it, checked to make sure every single kid's there. It wasn't there. But everything was good. Minus that I normally wake up when Danny gets out of bed. I normally wake up. And he normally tells me bye. I do not remember him telling me bye. I do not remember him getting out of bed. That's probably the weirdest part right there. You know, but I was up throughout the night.
Is there any reason that y'all have been up and in and out of the house about that?
No. The last time anybody showed up in that house would have been me. And I was on looking out Orville. And that was just the end of a culture back. I was on my street.
So now the doors in the house were open or closed at any point after you got back home?
Nope. And I had the back door locked. I know I looked out the front door. I pushed up against it and I knew that was off. But anyway, I started this morning and grabbed the stairs off of it and blocked the door and didn't push it all the way. They wouldn't have caught. They wouldn't have latched. He just pushed over. So he said, or he kept us up and he locked it. That it was locked. I can take that out. Just I don't know. That's how easy it is to get out of the house. So I don't think he would, and I don't want to believe he would. He wasn't acting up the way. There's nothing at all that I could think of the way he was acting, talking, looking, reacting, behavior, anything for me to think Yeah, he probably could have done something. There's nothing for me to think about. I don't know. It was just really baffling right now. There's all this. I don't know. I don't even know what to begin to watch. What am I supposed to do when I come home? What am I supposed to do? Act like everything's normal? Sleep in a room that I only have 3 babies in and I only have 2?
Just one last thing with the messages on here. You're saying something, or he's saying something about, I guess, when you were meeting up with this dude, Fred, about him being threatened.
No, that's about my brother. Paul showed up and was going to bed. Wow, okay, he said something about telling you he was on the way and he was being threatened to run over. That was my brother leaving work and somebody threatened to run him over at work.
Can you tell us about that?
I didn't elaborate on the situation. Like I said, Paul normally stays on his own, but he didn't. He that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So I still haven't asked about that situation yet. I got up and I didn't come to time.
Does Paul ever have issues or anything?
Like that? No. He is autistic and sometimes he runs his mouth. And if he runs it to the wrong person, he just does it. Because I told him I would never. Yeah, I told him I was over somebody, flipped off the wrong person, decided I would try to run over.
Does he have people coming over the house?
No, but again, I'm gone 6 to 2, and he works 2 to 10.
Yeah.
So if there is, I don't know, and I don't see, and nobody gets my room because I lock my door when I'm not home.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What about Danny? Does he have people coming over?
He has one friend, and his name is Marvin, but he doesn't hang out or anything. Like they might stop by and talk for 5 or 10 minutes, and then go on these tour together.
Yeah.
Other than that, when he moved down here, Danny didn't have anybody.
What about Paul having a girlfriend? He still have a girlfriend.
That's news to me.
Okay, I'm just asking if he does.
That's news to me.
Okay.
I don't just about to shove his eyes about anything. No girlfriends. We go shoot he's gay.
Or whether he has boyfriends coming over.
Yeah, but none of that. I see nobody come over. Thomas, when he's home, he doesn't have company come over unless it's his sister or his really old friend. His name Roger.
Thomas is your other brother?
It was, like I said, my other brother's Joe. That was here. I had 6 brothers. I'm sorry.
When was your mom, when was she scheduled to be back here?
In a couple weeks. We talked to her last week. She said she should be coming home in 2 to 3 weeks. And then we told her a couple of days ago that she got laid off. And we called her and asked if she was coming home. She said she doesn't know if she's coming home quite yet. So maybe that she was maybe trying to set up another job, or maybe she was just going to go and hang out with Thomas at his job on her way home and then just come home with him this weekend, since he comes home on the weekends or something. But I didn't really get in detail about it because the last incident we did have with the pushing and the kids and the cops calling and all that stuff, we have been very distant since then.
So given your mom's situation as it relates to her travel and her job, and given your situation as it relates to your mental health and use of drugs, and you're saying that you're not in a position to take care of one of that least. So you feel that given your mom's situation and your situation, she was still the best person for you to have custody to.
Yeah, she from the time that I first gave her custody to until now. Yeah, no matter what, I gave her custody to her. She hasn't had custody over them for not even a year yet. I mean,
See, I'm trying to understand this.
Yeah.
She's away. She's maybe out of town for a month, 2 months at a time.
sometimes 3, sometimes.
She has full custody. So really, it's just a paper drill. Call what you want.
Yeah, it's pretty much just paper talking. Whatever. She got custody, but I was the one every day. I was there every day. I took her to his doctor's appointments. I got his clothes set up just like they're set up still on the counter next to his bed every night. They put their bags together with their toys and their diapers or pull-ups and snacks for throughout the day because Michelle was like, she was innocent snacks. It was me who was letting me every day. Oh, well, that was funny. Like, mentally, everything stable enough to come be there and to be good for my kids. Whatever I've been, I was there all the time. I set up appointments. I made sure everything was good. Then, like I said, go to the stage and Quinton was going to have an appointment to see if he was autistic coming up pretty soon. To go ahead and just start a little test on that because he was autistic and I wanted to know how many did it to even progress.
You've been through a lot. You've been through a lot. We can't imagine what it is. Through all that, trials and tribulations that you've been through, you get what I like to call just street smart, just inclination, just how much. That you know something just doesn't quite know it.
You don't know exactly what it is.
And that's what I'm asking for you right now, because I know that you know something's just not quite right.
I don't know what it is.
But it goes back to what we talked about earlier. Bad news doesn't be very time. Accidents happen. Things happen. Things that we regret, after it's done. So that's why I'm looking at you in the eye right now. Because it goes to the fact that there's probably no less than 40 to 50 people right now that are doing nothing but climbing away to do everything humanly feasibly possible to find Quinton. So going back to that sense, that sixth sense that you have, 23 years old, young lady, but has a whole lifetime experience in 23 years. That's what I'm leaning on you for right now. Accidents happen. I need you to help me figure out what happened. What happened last night?
I'm trying. I don't think nothing was out of the ordinary with Danny. When I left, when I came back, nothing out of the ordinary at all. Even though he was talking, like his movements and when he's sitting there talking to some other female on his phone and won't tell me about it, and I have a feeling or a hunch, I'm right. And I can tell because of the way he's acting and the way he moves. He's very secretive. It wasn't like that last night. This man was like on the couch with us. Well, in bed, his couch in the bed. And on the bed, next thing.
When you saw Quinton last night, when you came back at 10:40,
About 10:15, yeah.
you know 100% certain.
He was okay.
He was okay.
He was 100% certain. Okay, that baby was moving. That baby was breathing. And that baby was curling off his side of a blanket and comfy. Last time I laid my eyes on him. That was the last time I laid my eyes on him. So I was scared.
But you gotta agree that it's possible. I mean, we've got to figure out.
I can't throw it out because I don't know the person that I never thought would hurt me. Okay, so I'm not going to throw it out. But do I think that he would? No. Will I put it past anybody? No. I don't put it past nobody. There's a possibility that it could have. Something could have happened. Maybe something happened after I went to sleep. And he couldn't look up and started crying because I was so tired and don't know what it is and I didn't hear it. And then he got frustrated. But if it happened, I don't know. And I don't want to focus on meanings. Because it just leads down to a dead end normally.
And if that happened, you know that happened. We're going to do everything we can to protect you. So you got to understand that.
That's like the only thing. When I sit there and I'm thinking how everything did last night when I left and I came back both times, how he was. I still can't even think of. I'm normally a light sleeper. I normally, when this dude's alarm goes off, he's crawling out of bed and he's still got his nothing but drawers on. You know, I didn't hear nothing. I didn't see anything. I didn't feel nothing at all. I mean, I didn't hear Sky until about 3. I'm guessing he did. She normally wakes about 3:30. So that's the. If I can give you a time frame of when possibly something could have. I could have been after 1:30 in the morning when I was in bed. And I was like laying down at 12. My mouth couldn't get comfortable. My mouth was hurting. Got comfortable with my friend. Went and got some Florida gel. Came back home, applied it. Checked it all again, and I went to bed. I went to bed next day, and I was against the wall, and Danny was on the outside.
You didn't get anything else from Red? Nothing else?
No, I just handed him a $20 bill.
So we go talk to Red. Red's going to talk to them.
Yeah, he's just handing me a $20 bill. Yeah.
So was that important for you last night to get up at 10:40 at night?
And I was getting irritated with Danny because my mouth was hurting, so that was an excuse for me to go ahead and just get out of the house for a minute and have a reason to do so too, besides just running. I was getting aggravated with him. My mouth was hurting and he kept on trying to offer me food and this and darn, every time he put his hand on me, he kept on touching right here repeatedly, and I was just aggravated. My mouth was hurting. I don't want to hear that shit didn't help either. The girl got in the car and I was like, hey, pay back $20 right here. Yeah. And I have been on and off running the past few months because of him cheating and things like that. So that has turned into my way of handling things with Danny before it escalates to the point that he's yelling and screaming and arguing and throwing stuff. Just walk away. When I feel like it's escalating, just walk away. When I say escalate, I don't ever think I'm going to put his hands on me. No. Do the kids need to sit there and watch us constantly screaming and yelling in each other's face? No. It's honestly. There's been times that I went inside that Salt Creek Park and then got told to leave by an officer because you can't be there after dark. You know? So it's just escape. That was that excuse last night. It's an escape because I'm sitting there feeling like he's talking to other people. He doesn't want to do anything with me or that.
Pausing at 16:27:16. What was it that she just said there about why she left the house to go visit the drug dealer?
She thought Daniel was talking to other women.
And did she also say because he didn't want to be with her in bed?
Yes.
Presuming playback.
So again, life is tough. And there's nothing that gave you any inclination that they did anything wrong.
No, nothing at all. Nothing out the way. Nothing.
There's no stress.
Yeah. Nothing looking out the way. I mean, clear. And when he was awake and was around Danny, he was not acting no type of way towards Danny. He wasn't acting scared or frightened, getting flipped and picking up and spilling later. You know, nothing. So, and even afterwards, when I was in bed and asleep, I never said that Danny wasn't acting funny. My animals weren't acting funny. The house was exactly the way it was when I left it. I mean, exactly straight down to the dog's turd from the back door. I'm lost.
I'm still going to give you every opportunity to recollect and think through exactly what happened. And I'm going to disclose some things to you that we're going to do, so you understand. So if the doors were open and shut anytime after you got home at 10:50, we're going to find that out. If any cars, if Danny's car left, if any cars associated with that house left, we're going to find out. You have to understand that. Like when it comes to situations this much bigger, this much weight, there is no expense spared to figure this out. Okay. Well, we can easily sit here and talk to you, get everything in your mind, and you tell us what you think happened. And it saves a lot of time.
And I think that's how I wasn't going to trust nobody. It's because I know how much people trust people and watch me. And I was like, whatever. And I trust me. Follow me. I I trust him. I trust him with the kids, but I trust him with myself. Because he's so cheated and hurt me that many times to that extent. I mean, he's never done wrong with the kids that I can see. Never. It is scared to even follow him. So, like, if he did mentally stop, if he did, she was after I was asleep. That was after going and picking up my orange out. Because I got back here, I did lay down for a minute. I tried to sleep for a minute. I did. I tried and I couldn't. And my mouth hurt. And I got up with my friend. Like, there's more to do. Which is why I was at 125 when I got back in the morning. And I immediately got to go to it for it. But he didn't act no type of way. Nothing looked up to go to the house this morning when I got up either. Besides the door was open. And so I did not be there. Those are the only two things that got over me.
Do you have any other way of tracking anyone else's Life 360?
I used to have the location thing, but it doesn't have my phone anymore.
What is SoFi?
So it's a bank app. There's a lot of those in there. I was trying to get $30 sign up bonus.
Can you go ahead and do this?
No, I'm still there.
So if you would, I'm kind of new to Life 360, so if I start.
So this will be all the most recent ones. The farther you go down, the older they get.
Gotcha.
Alright. And if you click on money, and you will see where it left this morning. This will show phone. Because my phone battery was low, which is why it's showing like that. And it's showing phone up here. There's the Chevron gas station. To get that, go back home. Okay. Okay, bed. Looks like I took 17 there. I took 16 back or 95 back.
So how do I see D's?
His name, click on it. And it says same. And I will to connect.
So we have one here. I'm not getting to know. Do you need Wi-Fi or do you already do?
I have that other system. See?
It's pretty soon to have that done.
See, I need to connect.
Is it trying to do a live thing or is it just showing the history?
It's trying to do both, and right now it's not showing anything, and that's weird because I see this stuff this morning. How long has I been doing this since 2016? It's on this morning. And it says you guys have been on since 9:55, so it's been on there.
Would it not work if this phone was off? Right?
No, it should still show up the history.
His most recent location,
Yeah, it should still show that up.
4 hours ago.
It's not showing the history.
Yeah, his phone's off. If his phone is off, because the ad's cycling, so it's not connected. So it relies on his phone and the app to push you the data. So that's what that is. There's nothing else. What you think? There's no chance. This is going to sound crude, but you gotta understand we got a job. There's no chance.
There's no chance in hell that I think that I would do anything with my mental, no matter what, to hurt my children.
And
Danny, no. I'm like, I'm to them, it's like, I'm 95% believe that there was no possibility that I've been hurt their children.
if something can happen,
Which is why I said I'm 95%.
it could be an accident.
Exactly, because it's nothing we can like, if something did happen, my baby was not going to know about, and it was probably an accident. I'm not think somebody could potentially, Danny, or he would potentially, that I know, or that was in that house, hurt the children. I don't think we would. We won't be ready to fight with the babies, just be calling them, or regarding them as these little effers, because they don't want to fight you.
Is there any places that he went outside? When you go outside and play, is there anything that attracted him? Like, did he like to love dogs? Did he like water? Did he like?
Water, he loves the water and balls. I love balls. I didn't really, if I went for a walk, it was only for my house to stop sign, but we always take him back there. You go out there and it's a clear area, it's the cardboard where I can like kick the ball around with him, so if he can run and follow me, not get too worried. Because we would play out there, he would always be attracted to that old rusty truck behind the cardboard. So,
But we know that, the playpen that I employed, he wasn't strong enough, tall enough, big enough to crawl in there on his own. So whatever has happened to Dylan at this point, he was picked up out of that.
I wasn't on any type of medication yesterday when I was asleep. I would have heard that. I would have heard my door opening. I would have heard all of that. I would have been prevented from whatever happened to my child happening to my child. Whether it was him or a stranger, I would have been able to prevent it.
Have you had any anybody, when Quinton was playing out in the yard, when the kids were playing out in the yard, I mean, any passersby just randomly come up and start talking to you, hey, how you doing?
There's a white male that's come up and knocked on my door, has multiple 3 times randomly. One time was at like 12 o'clock at night saying, God told me to come see your kids. Anyway, they came back, following week again. Knocked on my door. Knocked on the door. I said, who is it? Whatever. And he said his name. And I was like, do you need anything? Are you okay? I didn't open my screen door. That was still shut. No, I had that. So I didn't open the screen door. I was like, what do you want? What do you need? Are you okay? You need assistance? You call somebody. He said, no, you left again. And the last time I seen him was like 2 days ago when we had all the kids, including Scott, that's around time for their kid color.
Did you ever try to engage the kids like, hey, buddy, how are you doing? You were saying like that.
Every time I knock on the door, came to the yard because he's always, hey, how you doing? What's up? My church is this, and God bless you, and give me a hug.
Did this man give you any sort of bad vibes? Did you think he was the same person that you were, or there was something?
There was something off about him. Only one person comes up and knocks at somebody's door at that time of night to say, God bless you.
So you have no idea of like a car or anything?
I've never seen him in a car. I've never seen him in a car. He always just come walking up on the road. I can tell you he's about 5'11", like blue eyes, 106 pounds, maybe around 19, 20 years old. He looked young. He's younger than me. He looked young. Other than that, that's the only person that's popped up recently at all that's been rained on top of blue. You know, completely unexpected in that very odd times. That's it. Yeah, just feeling that.
Yeah, you try something with that. You probably locked in right now, still.
It's all here. It's a whole area. They took this too. No, this was it. The one in front of it. They wanted here.
Just hold tight for a minute. We'll step outside. And if you can just sit here. Do you need to go around? I can't wait.
Let me like smoke cigarette.
Yeah, I want you to-
The last line of questioning from Special Agent Snyder was about whether there had been any suspicious strangers around the house anytime recently, right?
Yes.
And in that nearly hour-long interview, is it fair to say that most of the questions focused on whether Danny might have been responsible?
Yes.
There were also questions about whether there could have been an accident.
Yes, several times.
And there were questions about whether Quinton could have just gotten out of the pack and played himself and walked away.
Yes.
She denied that was possible.
Yeah, she said he wasn't capable of doing that.
There were questions about how Paul treated the kids and what his relationship with children was like.
Yes.
And she said that he treated the kids well and that their relationship was good.
Yes.
As she had said for Danny.
Yes.
Who was, in her words, afraid to even pop them.
Yes.
Is it fair to say then that you all as an investigative team kept an open mind about what might have happened?
We did.
One moment, please, Your Honor. I think this might be a good time for a break.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break. It is 10 after 3. Let's come back at 3:25 for our 15-minute break. Again, don't discuss the case and don't do any research. All right?
Your executive.
Thank you. All right. See you back at 3:25.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we tried to make sure we hit every single house. We had, using the data that we had kind of uncovered up to that point, we were able to provide the team admin experts and the landfill folks some of our initial findings, and they were able to identify an area within the landfill that was most likely to contain the garbage collection from the areas that we were most interested in.
And then going forward from that, once you have an area of interest at the landfill, what services that Team Adam that provides? What do they do?
So Team Adam will they speak the language of the landfill experts, and it is, I've learned, a very technical science, if you will. The way that garbage collection is brought into a landfill, it goes to a transfer station from the trucks. From the transfer stations, very specifically put in an area that they designated for that particular day or days, whatever the length of time it is. So that these experts, they can communicate with the landfill engineers, so they can tell you that if this particular garbage truck, if you will, collected from this area on this date, it went into this particular section of the landfill, which then gave us, it's still a needle in a haystack, but it's a smaller haystack. So it's still very difficult to find, but it's a much smaller area than before.
And do they perform calculations designed to kind of guide you in estimating how much garbage you're going to have to search through and how long this might take, how many people it might take, and so forth?
They do landfill searches, and I've been part of several of them. They're very difficult. They're personnel requirements and hazmat requirements. So by having these experts tell us exactly where they feel and drawing the box and narrowing the scope of the search, because we also talk about compression rates as the truck pushes garbage down. So even though you may be looking at a small area, you may have thousands of cubic feet of trash to go through. So they help us with all those calculations. And in this particular case, they were instrumental in finding an area and then helping us decide what resources we would need to logically be able to go through that area.
What do you remember about the estimate that they provided you as in terms of how long this might take and how many people it might take?
It was long and it was going to be expensive, but it was not undoable. It was short enough that we felt like if we wanted to find Quinton Simon's remains, that would be it was worth the effort to do.
Was it on the order of weeks?
Yes, sir. I believe it was more than 3. I can't remember exactly, but it was definitely not going to be more. It was definitely going to be more than a couple of weeks.
One moment, please.
Yes, sir.
Now, I want to just briefly go back to the Henry Bubba Moss aspect of the case. Did you have ongoing contact with him for a period of time?
I did.
And how did he communicate with you?
We communicated through text, through phone calls, and through in person.
So had he provided a phone number with you? Or to you, I mean?
We got it, I think, first, but then he confirmed that was his, and I talked to him. Mostly, he was very difficult. He works, he's a laborer, so he's often out doing stuff and doesn't have immediate access to his phone. So I would sometimes text him, and he would get back to me later to meet up. There was several meetings that we had through the process.
Do you see in front of you a document marked as States Exhibit 82?
I do.
Do you recognize that document?
I do recognize that.
Is that a screenshot of a portion of your text messages with Henry Bubba Moss?
Yes, sir, it is.
Does it fairly accurately depict that portion of the text messages?
It does.
And more importantly, does it contain his phone number on it?
It does contain his phone number.
Your Honor, I would introduce this into evidence as States Exhibit 82.
I don't have any objections, Judge. I've already reviewed it.
Very well. States Exhibit 82 is admitted.
Now, can you read from that exhibit and tell us what his phone number was?
His phone number is 706-526-1978.
Text messages from during the investigation, not recently, right?
They were during the investigation from my phone to his phone.
All right, thank you. One moment, please, Your Honor. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Dean. Mr. Hilliard?
I don't have any questions for this.
All right. Very well. Thank you. And there's, I presume, no reason to not excuse him. You're excused, sir. You can, are those documents, hand those off to Mr. Dean. Then Mr. Dean is probably going to give those to the clerks. Okay, Mr. Dean, who would you call next as a witness?
I'm ready to resume with Detective Lemons, if I can remember where I left off. I'm ready to do that. I don't know whether anybody wants a break before we do that, or if we want to carry on.
I see lots of motions. Keep it going. You're not the only one. Everybody doing it. Okay, so Detective Lemons, come back and take your place at the witness stand. You are under oath. You remain under oath. And Mr. Dean, whenever you are ready.
Thank you. All right. Going back to State's Exhibit 13, which has been introduced into evidence and identified as the October 5th, 2022, day one interview recordings, okay? And this is the very last frame of the last interview that we watched. Can you look up at the timestamp and tell us when and the day this interview ended?
It is 10/5/2022 at 16:30:32.
4:30 p.m.?
Yes,
Okay. Now, after this interview was over, did you guys take a break?
we did.
And during the break, what was happening?
We were gathering as a case team, discussing everyone's separate interviews, what information we've collected from the scene, from the interviews, and what we were going to do next.
And was one of the next things you did, or the next thing you did with the defendant, is ask her to write a written statement?
We did.
And how did that begin?
So we did that with her, Paul, and Daniel. Each one of the groups had a form that we read from explaining what we were looking for in the written statement. They all agreed to do it.
Now, before you, was she in the interview room still when you asked her or approached her about writing a written statement?
Yes,
Before you did that, did the two of you at some point go out and smoke a cigarette together?
we did.
Are you a smoker?
I'm not.
You were that day, though?
I was that day.
While you were smoking a cigarette with her, I presume that was outside.
It was, yes.
Okay. Did you, two of you kind of engage in small talk?
We did.
Did she talk to you about her family, things like that?
Yes,
Did she mention anything in particular to you about Zane and her relationship with Zane, her oldest child?
she did.
What do you remember her saying?
She talked very fondly of Zane, how he got her through a lot of emotional issues in her life.
And did you catch in one of the recordings that we've already watched, her saying something about the importance of the first 24 hours of a missing persons investigation?
Yes.
What did she say about that earlier, as best you remember?
She was just stressing the importance that we find Quinton within those 24 hours. And I believe she mentioned the odds were going to decrease after that 24 hours.
Did that seem to be her understanding of how these things work?
Yes.
That if 24 hours goes by without the person being found, then the odds kind of tank?
Yes.
While you were outside smoking a cigarette together, did she repeat that same thing?
She did.
And did she say anything to you while you were smoking a cigarette outside about her relationship with Bubba, with Henry Bubba Moss Jr., Quinton's father, during the time period that she was pregnant with Quinton?
Yes.
What do you remember her saying about that?
That her and Bubba had already split up before she even found out that she was pregnant. And then she talked about how Bubba didn't believe that she was pregnant, and that she had Quinton by herself. Like she gave birth to Quinton by herself.
You know, it was after that cigarette and that conversation that she was placed back in the interview room?
Yes.
And sometime after that, you all approached her to write a written statement?
Correct.
One moment, because I'm going to try to turn this. So I'm opening up from State's Exhibit 13, a file labeled Interview Room 1857 to 1947.
So we've talked about a lot.
What time are we at now?
1858.
6:58 p.m.?
Yes.
All right. And what's about to happen here?
We're about to read from the form her instructions for the written statement.
And there's some things that I'm sure you want to, be sure that we completely understand. And so because of that, I want to take the time to have you write, from start to finish, what we talked about. I got a couple things here I want to read to you. And then I'm going to leave this with you and then give you an opportunity to, to put in your words, what happened. So really, starting, yesterday. Yeah, forward to maybe 9 months ago. Okay. So I'm going to put the date on here. Today is October the 5th. So 10/5/22. So I'm just going to read this out. I'm going to leave this piece of paper with you. And you can read it again out so you completely understand kind of the purpose and the thought process of the statement. Just shoot along with me. Okay? Before recording your memories on today, take as long as you need to picture in your mind where you were, what you saw, what you were thinking, how you were feeling at that time. Why should you do this? Thinking about the event before writing down your memories will help you remember more details. So don't just look at it, just don't start randomly write things. Take a minute and figure out how you want to put your thoughts on paper. Okay. Give yourself plenty of time to concentrate. Visualize what happened in your mind. Think about the following things: where you were, what you were doing, who you were with, how you were feeling, what was happening, what was involved, what you could see, what you could hear. It may help sometimes to close your eyes and kind of process this and think about it. There's a lot of things you talked about. There's some things that, not, I don't want to call them lies, just things that we got to come back and readdress. So I encourage you to take the time to reflect, and anything that we haven't talked about, feel free to put that in there as well. And then once you're satisfied, you've managed to fully remember the event, turn the page and continue. So right here, it's just, limited, lines here, and space go by, and today they write down the things you remember. It doesn't matter if you remember things out of order in which they happened. Don't leave out any of the details. Write every detail you remember about the entire day, no matter how insignificant it may seem. The time that you remember when you put the spaghetti on the stove to cook the noodles. That's the type of detail that we're looking for you in the statement. Okay. Use as many pages as you need. Take as much time as you like. Don't guess about the details. If you can't remember, just put, basically, I know this happened, but I can't remember the exact time. And just make sure it's complete and exactly as possible. I'm going to give you as much time as you need to do this. Don't rush it. This is the biggest thing in my life right now. I know it's the biggest thing in your life. So just know that we're here, and we're going to continue to, like I told you earlier, turn over everything possible. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So you're more than welcome to read through that again. You're an extra chance to go down. We're going to step outside. If you need anything, just knock on the door, and we'll be more than happy to come here and accommodate you. Okay.
All right, after those instructions that we just watched, did the defendant proceed to complete a written statement in the interview room?
She did.
And did she eventually come to the door and let you all know that she was finished with it?
She did.
And did she give it to you?
Yes.
Do you see in front of you a document marked as State's Exhibit 17?
I do.
Do you recognize that document?
I do.
What is it?
So the front page is the instructions that we had given her, and the following pages is her statement.
Is it a fair and accurate copy of the original written statement that she completed?
It is.
I would introduce this into evidence in State's Exhibit 17.
Okay.
Exhibit 17 is admitted without objection.
Now, those instructions that we heard Special Agent Snyder reading on the video, is that what he was reading from the front page of that?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to publish this to the jury now by having you read her written statement. Not all the instructions, because we just heard this, but what she wrote.
My fiance and I picked up the kids from the babysitter, Michelle McCarta, around 4:30 p.m. When we got home, I started cooking dinner. I was cooking the sausage and the hamburger meat for the spaghetti, while Daniel, my fiance, was getting the kids settled down and cleaning the room. After we ate, I put Zane, Quinton, and Sky in the bath to start getting ready for bed. I then took them all out of the bath, dried them off, put pajamas on them, and gave Zane and Quinton both a cup and their tablets. It was probably around 8 p.m. I decided to put a movie on and played with my kids for about an hour and a half. So no, it's about 9:30 p.m. and I just laid Quinton in bed with his cup and Mickey Mouse stuffed animal. I gave him his tablet to help him lay down and started to relax for the night. After I laid Zane down with his cup and tablet, Quinton was very talkative when I finally took the tablet away around 10 p.m. But it didn't even take 20 minutes before he was fast asleep. During this time, Danny was cleaning up from dinner, doing laundry, and laying on the bed with Sky. After Quinton fell asleep and Zane fell asleep, which was no later than 10:25 p.m., Danny and I started to get into it. And because I had just gotten my wisdom teeth removed earlier that day, I was already aggravated because my mouth hurt. So I decided to take a quick drive to 204 to pay back $20 we owed on a front to a guy named Red. Before I even left the house, I checked all three kids. All three of them were fast asleep. I left at 10:33 p.m. Arrived at 204 at 10:44 p.m. and arrived back home at 10:54 p.m. I then checked on all the kids one more time before I crawled into bed with Daniel. I then attempted to get some rest, but my mouth was keeping me awake. I stay in bed for about 2 hours until 1 a.m. until I finally had enough of my mouth hurting. So I got up, called Circle K to see if they had any Orajel, and they didn't. So I got in contact with a old coworker of mine named Misty, and she did have Orajel. So I left the house at 1:13 a.m., rode up to the Chevron at the end of Buckholter, and got some Orajel. When I got back home again, it was 1:25 a.m. I went to the bathroom as soon as I got home and applied the Orajel. I then checked on all the kids again, and they were all perfectly fine. Zane was asleep in his little race car bed with his tablet on his chest. Quinton was asleep in his playpen with his cup and Mickey Mouse stuffed animal. I moved his hair out of his face, and little man grabbed his blanket, snuggled up to it. Sky was asleep on the couch, and Danny was laying on the bed. I then crawled back into bed after double checking the locks on the door at probably around 1:45 a.m. I go to sleep. When I wake up, it's 8:59 a.m. on the dot. The very first thing I noticed was my door was open. I immediately closed the door and checked to make sure all the kids were there, but they weren't. Zane was, Sky was, but Quinton wasn't. I start to panic. I searched the whole house, top to bottom, inside and out, and my baby was nowhere to be found. I called Danny because he went to work at 6 a.m., asked if he'd seen Quinton or took him to the babysitter. He said no, that Quinton was in his playpen when he left and that the door was closed, not opened. So at 9:17 a.m., and I called 911 to report my son missing. After I called 911, I called Michelle, the babysitter, to urgently come help me look. Danny was at work when I called him and came straight home. He was home before the cops arrived. All I could keep saying was, I need my baby. Where is my baby? Note, please do everything possible to bring my little man, my monkey, my Quinton home to me, please.
Now, in the instructions that are on the front of that form and that we heard Special Agent Snyder read, is it fair to say that the defendant was urged to be thorough?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that she was urged to be truthful?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that she was urged to include every detail?
Yes.
Okay. So if she had wanted to revise her story about what she was doing at the drug dealer, would this have been a good time to do that?
It would have.
If she had wanted to say, I wasn't actually at the Chevron, I went next to the dumpsters at Azalea, would this have been a good time to do that?
Yes.
Let me ask you this, was there any mention of throwing trash away at Azalea in the statement?
There was no mention of her going to Azalea.
Okay. Any mention of throwing trash away anywhere at all?
No.
But these instructions have called for that detail.
It would have.
Now, while she was sitting in the interview room between interviews, what was she doing?
She was eating a few times, talking to some of the officers walking by, or the ones that were sitting there watching everyone.
Now, at some point, did she make a disclosure to an officer out in the hallway about anger problems, behavioral issues?
She did.
And was that captured on camera?
It was.
Your Honor, at this time, I would publish from State's Exhibit 13 a file entitled Interview Room 2057 to 2103.
You may proceed.
Now, what time is this at?
So the timestamp on this is 21:01.
So 9 p.m.?
Yes.
I'm gonna keep asking.
I know.
And who's she talking to?
I believe she's talking to Officer Carlson and Agent Solomon.
Okay, Savannah Solomon? Yeah. Okay. And what are we gonna hear her say, more or less?
She's talking about her anger issues and how she can snap into anger very quickly.
And I'll publish this now, Your Honor.
There are days that I wake up or days that something so little just might happen. And it's like a trigger. And it's not. And it's almost like I'm a completely different person. The way I talk, the way I move, the way I look at you, everything, even my tone of voice. Can you feel that happening? You know? Where it's like, when it normally happens, I finally reached a certain level of anger or stress or whatever it might be at that moment that I just, it's like a switch. Yeah. I don't even realize it until after I've calmed down that I just seriously tripped on you and treated you like that for a reason. You know, and then I'm left apologizing to everybody. Now I'm sorry, I'm crazy. I don't know what happened. I don't even know why I did that. And half the time that happens or randomly happens like that, it's not like a slowly transition or whatever. It's because I don't even know how to explain it. If I'm doing pretty good throughout the day and I've had a good day overall, and then something might trigger, it's slower. I can feel it. I can feel myself changing the way I talk, the way I think, the opinions I have, everything, feel the difference. But when it happens, like, I feel like today with the amount of stuff going on and stress and emotion or whatever, that's not.
Now, sometime after that, did you and Special Agent Snyder interview her again in the interview?
We did.
Okay. And before that, had you further searched her phone?
Yes,
And had you seen messages in her phone about buying and using Percocets?
we did.
And is that, at least in part, what you wanted to talk to her about?
Yes,
And did you all talk to her about?
We did.
About that?
Yeah.
What did she say about the Percocet messages?
that she was buying them for a friend.
Friend name?
Cheyenne.
And did you ask her whether she uses any drugs other than marijuana?
We did.
Now, she mentioned smoking marijuana earlier, right? But hadn't mentioned any other drug use.
That's correct.
And in this next interview, when you asked her whether she does any drugs other than marijuana, what did she say?
She said that she had in the past, but not currently.
Your Honor, this next interview is something close to an hour long. I'm ready to play it, but I will just float that to the court and jury, I suppose.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 4:25. I think we should take a quick break. But we're going to fit this this exhibit in. We're going to hear it. I want to give you guys a quick break before we sit you down for an hour. Okay. So let's take a quick break. Let's make it 10 minutes. It's 4:25. We'll be ready to go at 4:35. We're in recess. Attorney, Mr. Dean, you can go ahead and proceed with the showing of the video.
Thank you, Your Honor. So when we left off, you said that you looked through her phone a little further and seen some messages about Percocets, I think.
Yes.
And you were going to go in with Special Agent Snyder again and ask her about those messages and ask her about her drug use.
Yes.
Of which she had told you to this point that all she'd done the night before was smoke.
Marijuana.
Smoke marijuana. And did this interview start at about 9:26 p.m.?
Yes.
All right. I'll go ahead and publish from State's Exhibit 13 a file entitled Interview Room 2126 2229.
All right. Thank you so much for being patient with this. We're trying to work through and figure out stuff. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I do well
Yeah, I appreciate
as much detail as I could, and I was giving like this is who.
a lot of good detail in here. So we appreciate you taking the time. So
And I was trying my hardest to think about exactly what Danny was doing when I was in there with the kids radio and all that stuff like that. I can't get the times on, but I do know that he was cleaning up dinner too.
yeah, your memory is it's impeccable when it comes to the exact times. Yes.
So I do like 360, we're trying to keep a schedule with my kids.
Trying
to. I really got the morning times.
Now, anything in particular you can remember when you went to be read at any area of Flock those times? Is there anything you remember about that? Any cars that you saw? Anything that stuck out?
No, I can take this perspective that I watched Red go off and go the opposite direction of where I went before I lit off.
Which way did he go?
He went up towards, not towards,
Opposite 95.
opposite of 95, direction.
Was there any cars in the parking lot?
No, not all that I can see, not probably.
And
There's a
how
ride share across the street, but there's always a whole bunch of cars there, so I can tell you about that.
and how about the orange?
The orange,
Yeah, how did you pay for that?
oh, I called my friend Misty, because she already had some.
Okay.
When I called Circle K and they didn't have any, I got in contact with her. And I had to get off the text now, because her phone's not on. Whatever. I did that. I met her right there at the showroom. She walked up there. She handed it to me. She remembered all of it. So I'm not worried that you will find it in the bathroom.
Did you notice anything at the Chevron? Any cars there at all?
Just the U-Hauls that they normally have parked here.
Okay, how many of them get at the Chevron on the corner of Buck Alternative? Yeah.
So when you get to that light, if you're coming from my house, heading towards 17, you would go right, and it's literally immediately on the right hand side. There was only one time, and I really didn't think this was relevant, because it was months ago, that I left that Jasmine's food at 9 o'clock at night. Thank you.
Looking at her. Big sister.
I left there and recharged to take it off a couple of years ago, and there was this little tan car that followed me almost all the way past to school. But by the time I passed to school, it was going into the driveway. I stopped and turned around, so I didn't take much of it. But they did pull out for gas and someone I did. They followed me all the way down that road until I passed that school. What time was that? It was about 9 o'clock. I can't tell you exactly what date it was. I don't even, but I know it was about 9 o'clock at night. I had work at 6 o'clock that next morning. And I was working 12 hours shifts. So it's probably on a Wednesday. And that's when I first started. It was Thursday, Friday, and Saturday shift. It was probably a couple months ago that happened. Yeah. But that's the only time that I can ever remember anybody following me, and the person looked like he was following me. Escape, Mexican. So.
And your, the time that you got home last night, what time was that?
After I went to a fort, or after that, it was like 10:54, 10:53. It was before 11.
And then you made the, you woke up at 9.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
woke up at 9. Did you wake up at all before that? Were you lying awake in bed, or your teeth were hurt so bad you were out until you woke
I
up?
was out until when I finally was able to get enough relief to actually go to sleep. I was out until 11. Like I didn't feel anything out of it. I didn't hear no alarms. I didn't hear any doors shut. I didn't hear the car cranked up. I didn't hear the roll filter come on just right next to the corner of where my bed is. So I didn't hear anything when I got up at 9. That was it. So between about 1:45 and 9 o'clock, I was asleep the whole time.
And then just walk me through it again. We'll tell you, that's what I was understanding. Exactly when you woke up, what was give me step by step what you did.
The way the room is set up, my bed, as soon as you wake up, you can see the front door. So as soon as I woke up and I sat up, I seen the door was open. I got up immediately, went and shut the door, and went and reached for the kids were there. And when I noticed Quinton wasn't there, searched the whole house, up and down, in and out, front yard, backyard, side yard, everything, like a search. Couldn't find it. So I called Eddie.
What makes you know it was exactly that time? Did you have your phone with you, or how did you know what time it was?
Just not when I woke up, the first thing I did was look at my phone. Like first automatic reaction was look at my phone. I got up, making sure because like if it was like 7 o'clock, I went back to sleep because my kids weren't gonna be up yet. You know, if not, and these kids were gonna get up very soon. So I had to go. Yeah, I said immediately went to shut the door. Looked at the couch. Stopped right there. Looked at the bed across the front of the blanket. Then right there. Looked at the blanket. Couldn't look there. Called Danny. And I searched the house inside.
When did you notice the door?
As soon as I woke up, like I got up, looked at my phone, seen the time, looked at my door was open.
And what door was this exactly?
The very front door of the house. And that door is normally always locked unless somebody's awake. So.
And then tell me the call pattern. So who did you call? Did you go see Paul first upstairs, or did you call Danny?
I called Danny first. Called Danny first, and then I went upstairs to Paul, and he said no. I went over upstairs to Paul, and I said for some reason is he in your room? He's not anywhere else in the house, and he's not outside. No. All right. So then I called 911, and I called Michelle. And I called Michelle to come over and tell her to try to help me look and search more while I got the 2 kids in the house. So and she came over right away. She was there before the cops got there.
So was Danny with you?
He was at work.
But when you called 911,
I called, no.
he was not with you.
No, I think he was. I think he had called me as soon as I got off the phone or something like that, saying that he was about to be home. So he was on the way out calling him. No, he was there like 17 or 20, something like that. And that's good timing. It was being to 29 right work.
Right. Okay. You mentioned that you and Dan had some sort of argument. You were frustrated.
Yeah, I was frustrated. It wasn't like an argument. It was more like a I don't understand why you don't want to touch me type stuff. So once again, I was worthless. Pretty much. And the only way I could make myself get away from that and to try not to get 100% into that type of mindset was to take off for it.
And so when you left the house last night at roughly
Like 10:30.
10:30, so you left the house at 10:30. Was it kind of one of those situations where you leave and you slam the door and like you're not on good terms with Danny?
It was
So
hard.
you left.
I looked at him and I was like, yes, but I was trying to face myself before this escalates and gets to where we're arguing and like thinking everybody up and make this. I'm just gonna go away from it. I'll be back. We'll talk. You know, so We're there. 204. My father's house. Living in my father's house. Gave him $20. Went back to the house. What y'all talking about? I called her to bed. I called her to bed with him when I didn't know the kids. I got back over there and they get from me. We just talked. Did you talk about the problems you were having? Yeah. We were talking. He was talking about how he doesn't know how to explain that becoming a father. I think it had a lot to do with his sex drive. His what? Sex drive. Has it changed some? It's not. It's not all. So it changed a lot, and that had a lot to do with the way I've been feeling about myself too a lot lately. Because I'm thinking that it's me. Maybe it's something about me. We just don't want it anymore. Real. Were you trying to do something before? No, it was like I took things in. So what I was talking to him about was a few days ago. Like it started, and then he lost his hunter, and in less than 2 minutes, he didn't try again. Yeah. So I didn't say anything about it for a couple days. And I finally said something less. And I didn't want it to turn to argument, which is why I didn't say something about it when it happened. Yeah. So when it started getting heated with us just talking, I was trying to avoid it. Left and went to go pay rent. We came back. We were able to leave for a minute talking about it. And I finally stopped talking. Somehow this agreement. I told him like we got to the end of like that. We're good. And we were leaving for a minute. He went to sleep pretty quick after we finished off. Me, I got my ear tossing and turning because of
So Percocets help some.
if I had Percocet, he didn't prescribe me a ibuprofen.
See, you didn't get a Percocet from Red.
No. I just gave him $10. And even if I didn't get a Percocet, that'd be $35.
When's the last time you got some?
Last time? I was 6 months ago. I don't do bills like that. Like anything, anybody got to worry about anything with me is something. Because I was something else with me. I'll be honest about that. Everything else, no. My mom's a drug addict. I watched her be. I seen her was covered up in the kitchen. So I said, anything that's not homegrown or bought at the convenience store, I don't want. When I mean homegrown, I don't mean cooked up stove. I mean homemade dirt. I don't know if they're homegrown and grown. Not created. Yeah.
There's some things that you just got to, you have to answer for, so we have to get a better understanding as to, what went on. You know that you gave us the authorization to go through the text messages. There's text messages in there about you purchasing Percocet as recently as within the past 24 to 48 hours. So did you mind talking about that? Is that dated or tell me understand that?
Is it dated? So,
what's your story?
sometimes, when you ask me if I've done it, I haven't done it recently. I have a friend named Cheyenne Crosby, who lives in Florida. She will call me from time to time. I'll place a call log. She can go, ask them for Percocet or whatever if I can get it. And I'll get it for you. I'll drop it off. Whatever. Or I'll get it dropped off. And she'll come pick it up. So, but no, we haven't messed with the Percocets.
So when's the last time that you actually exchanged a text message with somebody about using Percocets or buying Percocets for somebody else? When do you think that was?
It's been a couple times the past couple weeks. Okay. So I can't tell you exactly the last time. It was funny because day before yesterday, I want to say that probably was.
So we got to go back to an accident taking place at the house. What happened at the house with Quinton? And I'm looking at you in the eye, and I'm being as passionate and as serious and as genuine. And I hope you see that.
I do. I do. I see. I really do.
All we have to do.
I want you to know that there was no.
It's fine, Quinton.
There was no accident. There was no plans in your head. There was no, oh, the TV fell over or something like that. Nothing like that at all happened. When we got home, they took them into the room, started getting them settled down, out of the car seat, taking their shoes off, getting their tablets and toys going on as they started cooking. The night went like a normal night. This is what I don't get.
You know that from 11:40 until about 9:22, that the door didn't open. You have a pretty sophisticated ADT alarm system.
I'm sorry to interrupt the playback, especially at 5 till 5. But what Special Agent Snyder is saying right here, we know that the front door didn't open until 9:22. Where had y'all gotten that information?
From Leilani's brother, Joe.
Okay. Had Joe come into the precinct as well?
Yes, I drove him. I drove him there.
You drove in there, and had he sat down for an interview with a different detective?
Yes, Detective Noble.
Okay. And Detective Noble will talk about what Joe was able to show on Joe's phone in the way of ADT records?
Yes.
Okay.
So we know the door never opened. You told us the door was open.
The door was open. When I woke up, the door was open. That door was 100% open. And the reason why I can say that for a fact, no matter what you say about that camera system thing is my cousin William was staying at the house, and when the camera is in front of the house, whatever, he unplugged it the moment that he moved in. So the security system is not a security system if it's not being used properly. The door was open about that far. From here, when it shuts, it's about that far. It was open for a fact. It's hard not to wake up and see the sunshine right in your face. That was normal night. Food, bed, bath, movie, everything that we normally do, TV on, laying down. We had about,
At least you said it to be normal, but something happened that night that was not normal, and that's all we're looking to do. You've been through a lot of trauma in your life.
And there's something repeated. It was not normal. I was not aware or made aware, or it was when I was not home or was asleep, because not one thing went weird or wrong or out of the ordinary after we got the cases for 30. Not one thing. I don't. Not even when the kids were acting or behaving, they were doing just fine. I really didn't mean this.
Were you both home until you decided to go out and talk to Red? You and Danny?
Yeah, both home. I was the only one home when I left until I got that call. So
And it's just y'all that drive the cars too?
yeah, us three. We drive between the three of us, we drive the truck and the Dodge. That's all we drive.
And then Paul's the one that drives the,
He drives the truck, not the truck. He drives the truck more often. We drive the Dodge more often. It's better on gas.
what kind of car's the Dodge?
It's a 2015 Dodge Journey.
Is that what y'all went to go pick up the kids in?
That's what we picked up the kids. That's what I used when I went to 204 and when I went to get over to.
Okay.
That's exactly what I used.
Gotcha. And you just take the normal route down Buckholder for both of those?
Yeah.
And what time was that when she picked up the kids?
What did he? It could have been way earlier, but we didn't try to like.
Is there any way could have later?
No. Like I'm saying, we would have picked them up way earlier if we didn't have to go and pick up our mess and then go to the house and when we clean the house and straighten that stuff up. So it would have been earlier. We didn't work earlier that day because we wanted to get this stuff. But we left at like 8 or 7. 7:30 we left work yesterday. And when we got to the office, the doctor's office, or whatever, they had me in there by 8:30, out by 9:32. I was like that 9:32. Whatever. And then we went and dropped off prescriptions. We went to Burgers. We went to the house. We straightened up the house now. Whatever. And I relaxed for a minute, some more salt water and watching Netflix, HBO Max. I don't got Netflix anymore. Whatever. And then I told him to text Michelle, make sure it was okay if he picked them up for 30, because that's still okay, let her know what was going on. I guess we are home, but this is what's going on. And that's what we did. So we picked them up at 4:35 tweets. I told her that. She like two.
Well, I don't doubt your memories are impeccable. I mean, some of the exact times you have on here, to a certain extent. And again, it goes back to the trauma that you experienced. And you gotta understand that bad news doesn't get better with time. Okay. And so
And that's what I'm freaking out the most about. This most dark time. It's already dark. The weather's getting cold. I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's warm. I don't know if he's fed. I don't even know if he's okay in general. And that's what I want to know. I don't understand that y'all are going to be so strong. I do. I 100% do. But there is nothing about last night that stood out that was out of the ordinary where that didn't go as a normal night goes. Minus the fact of me haul as hell when I did it. Okay, Red, and get orange out. That was it. Those are the only things that did not go as normal.
well, accidents happen. Accidents happen. Things happen that in your mind that you want to suppress, that you just want to push as far away from reality as possible. That happens. That happens in everybody's life. You know, but there's things here that just aren't adding up. And I want you to help us understand that. Okay?
Yeah, and
Your car, the Dodge Journey. You drive that.
Yeah.
What's the white powder that's scooped in the back of that? What is that?
baby cereal that busted in a cereal bag back when we were sheltering. That's baby cereal.
Why is the Dodge Journey with your time up in north and south on Geechee Road at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock in the evening yesterday?
Yesterday, because I said, see, he was trying to go to beer.
So that was him driving.
That was most likely him trying to go to beer. I don't remember leaving at 6. I don't think I left at 6. Nothing to leave, nothing at all.
What kind of beer is he drinking?
Natural lights.
Where does he put the cans when he drinks?
We have a bag, I bagged it in the closet in my bedroom, and put it in there. And I'm like, if I want to do in the car, and he tells me up and down, and he doesn't drink in the car. But I found bottles of fireball and cans before, so that I don't know.
Well, let me just say this. We have a combination of a lot of things here. We have you having, you told us about this that you're going through. So you had wisdom tooth pulled. You're a heavy sleeper. We have Danny, who you told us is a drinker and combined beer with fireball. And we have the door that we know is pretty good degree of certainty. I mean, and it's not what you believe, but the door didn't open between basically 11:54 last night and 9:20 this morning. And then you excuses.
Yeah, that's crazy to go. He won't stand that. But after I got back from getting the orange out, I walked out on the front porch and smoked a cigarette before I laid down. So that door has opened between those times. And when I woke up, that door was open.
But you got back home at 10:55.
That was after I paid Red. I said after I went and picked up the orange out. That would have been about 1:30 that I stepped outside on my front porch in the morning. So, but no, nothing other than ordinary.
But you didn't get up any other times throughout the night.
I didn't get up any other time after that.
Does anybody else come or going from the house?
No, they ain't went to work. That was the last time anybody should have left the house after I got back.
I'll just help you, okay? But this isn't going away. And we are going to get to the bottom of this. That we have to stay here
You need to understand.
all night.
I don't want anything to go away. I want him to be found.
And that's what we're going to
I know that, and I've given you everything that I could. I've even sat there when I was writing this out, over reading it, rereading it, writing and checking and making sure that I was writing down every little thing that I think that happened. And you're letting me know, and I don't know where my baby is. I don't know what happened to him. And all I know is that you're sitting here constantly trying to ask me to help you find him, and I'm doing the best that I can, but nothing that I'm going to tell you is going to change. He's not honest. Nothing else is going to change. When you come in here and ask me about it, I've been honest with you from the back. If I have forgotten to mention it, and you mentioned it to me, I've been honest about it. So I don't know what happened to my child. And I don't know where my baby is. I don't know if there's an accident when I left and nobody said anything about it. I don't know. But all I know is I need my baby back home. That's all I know. I need her back home. I need my family together again.
Why was the door, not the front door, but the living room door, the dining room door, open somewhere between 15 and 25 times throughout the night?
What door?
The living room door.
The living room door.
The living room and dining room door.
The dining room door.
Any other door? Any other door? The front door.
I was going to say the dining room door, people are quite in and out frequently. Now the other door, nobody's been in and out.
Last night specific.
Last night? Yeah. I know that at one point I went out the back door to the play side.
It's just you trying to help.
I know. I looked in the back of the play side to try to collect all the cups and stuff that I always find everywhere. Because, well, 11 something, I had already went to red and came back. I had already went to red and came back. It was 11 something. I'm just trying to help. Just straighten up and clean up. That's all I was. I opened the door, but that door only opened, that door, and that side only opened twice. The other one would be in and out between Paul going in and out, Danny going in and out, letting the dogs out. You know, that's the only time the other door would be open and out.
So Paul's asleep upstairs. He doesn't come down until you call him.
Yeah.
Danny is sound asleep because when you get home, you guys lay in bed together and you go to sleep. So the front door, I'll give you that. Okay, maybe it doesn't trigger when it opens one time.
Yeah, you were talking about that thing on the top of it? That hasn't worked since I've been in that room. Now the white thing has not worked since I've been in that room or since I've been in the house. That has not worked. Anytime you open that door, it does not talk. Does not make noise at all.
So do you think when you came home from red and you brushed Glenn's hair, was he alive at that point?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely 100%. He was warm, his cheeks were pink, and I touched his hair, moved it, he moved it and curled over like this. Grabbed a blanket, curled over. So yes, that baby's alive. Someone don't say him and think that he's dead. Please don't do that. He's not. Whoever he is, he's not. I can't live with that. I can't live with that. He was alive last time I seen my baby. He was alive and he was moving and he had color in his face. He was a happy baby.
You're talking about, I can see the door when you talk about Quinton.
He was a happy baby. He was my happy baby.
What's she saying there?
He was my happy baby.
Was, not his.
Was.
Paused it at 22:08:01 to ask that question. Resuming playback now.
I need him to come home. I need him to come home. I need him to find him and make sure he's okay. Just to come home.
That's all we want to do. We want to find him wherever he is. If he needs attention right now, that's all we want to do is find him. Bring him back to his mother.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, accident happened. We have to do some sort of accident happen.
Listen, thing is, like, I don't want to.
Some sort of, that's all we want to know.
There was no accident. There was no somebody falling. There was no horse playing. There was no door being left over and a child walked outside. There was none of that. None of it at all. And whatever happened, somebody picked that baby up out of that play bed and they took him with them. That's what they did. There's no way he can get out of that play bed on his own. No way. At all. Now that being tipped over by his brother or somebody picking him up or have a toy in there to step on. He did not get out of there. So I don't know where he happened to him. I don't know where he is. I don't know if something happened when I was back home. I don't know. I don't know who to trust. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know if his family does the worst thing to you. So how am I supposed to know? I don't know. I don't know. But I tell you this, because I'm not being left alone with nobody again.
But I agree with y'all. You don't trust Danny 100%.
I'm not, man. Yes. When he's done to me, the cheese, and all that. That's why I don't trust him 100% when it comes to my kids. I've never got him. My mother has. My mother's gotten him before. I've never gotten him. I have never come home and seen marks on my kids. I have never came.
Do you think he takes care of it when he's...
Yes, he does. He'll take care of him. Man.
What if I told you that if you're not home by the time you say you're supposed to be home, and Danny's there with the kids by himself, that he just leaves? He just leaves the kids there unattended. Would that be a surprise to you?
Yes. That would be 100%. That is something he would not do.
That's something he does.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
I don't... Think he's like that?
We're looking at every possible...
Somebody's left my kids unattended before when I wasn't home.
And that's what we're trying to get to. What else has Danny done? What accident happened?
I don't know if there was an accident.
What did he talk to you?
He said nothing at all about the kids when I came home. Nothing. He just lay there and he was just talking about my income issues, my mental problems, what makes him turned off about me. And I did the same and told him about what turns me off about him. And I don't think he would do anything, but then again, I didn't think he'd leave my kid alone. I don't understand that. You know, I have no leads on my things. No lead on him at all.
I mean, we were working nonstop, and we're not going to stop. I promise you, when you leave here tonight, there's folks working throughout the night and tomorrow until we find them. We really call in on you right now. Based off everything that we know at this point, I think we'll both agree that something happened. You know, Quinton was crying. Somebody got frustrated. Maybe something happened that you weren't expecting. And Quinton got unconscious. And you're 23 years old. You don't know how to handle situations like that. Danny doesn't know how to handle situations where, I know you said you don't remember him falling, you know, but you said multiple times throughout the interview, we're going back and forth, you know, he was battling, and there were some times he was crying. And it can get frustrating. You know, I got 3 kids myself.
He's not like every single scene he's been able to walk or crawl. He's always been about me. And it doesn't frustrate me. I'm used to it. And then I got Zane, and then I got him, and then I got Scott. Whatever. If there is something that happened, I don't know what it was. And I would not. I want y'all both to look me in my eyes. I would not pick somebody over my children. Never would I pick somebody over my children. I would not. I don't care how much I love them. Okay? I've never once seen him hurt my kids. I've never seen marks on my kids. And nothing else. The way last night made me feel like he would have done something or was acting some way like he was trying to hide something. Nothing at all made me think like that. And I am an overthinker. Okay? I am a serious overthinker. So even one little thing that would put that thought in my mind, I would have been thinking about it. I would have been questioning. Nothing though. He was just being Danny, being normal. Everything was being normal. And my kid's going. So something is not fucking normal. I don't understand anything.
What's that?
Why? I went to bed thinking that I was gonna wake up just like any other day and they breakfast at all of my kids. I didn't think I was gonna be waking up cold and cold because I need to find my kid. Okay? I don't know where he is. I don't know if something happened to him. I don't know at all. Okay? I've written down everything I know. I've told the cops. I've told y'all. I've told everybody everything I know or could possibly think of. At all. My routine, what we did, what kids did, what I did, what Danny did. I just did everything I could have written down. I went to bed. I know I make you home. That's what I want. I don't want to stop being questioned like I'm sitting here trying to protect somebody for doing something to my baby because I'm not that person. I'm not.
Lauren, you have to understand that we're doing everything we can. And does it happen this day and age? It does, but very rare. That a 2-year-old, a 21-year-old young man, young kid, just at random, you know, somebody comes into the house. There's things that cause that to happen. There's, you know, being involved in illegal activity and someone taking your kid, you know, to get back at you or some sort of retaliation. And I think we needed that. You told us like, hey, I paid my bill this. You know, the whole reason I was out there at 10 past 10 o'clock at night, to go up to Red. I don't know anything to Red. You know, Danny, he drinks, he smokes marijuana. He doesn't gamble, not involved in any sort of hardcore drug use. He doesn't have a lot of debts. You know, so no one really, from what you told us, has any sort of ill will against Danny. So the motivation for somebody to come take your kid because they're mad at you or mad at Danny, you know, isn't there. You don't have that. Like you're good people as far as that goes. You know, then we go down to, you know, your baby daddy. You know, we talked to him, you know, and we know that he hasn't been in Chatham County in probably 3 weeks. I don't know. You know, so there's, you know, the first thing that we think of and stuff like this is, you know, hey, is this a parental kidnapping? Is there a custody dispute? Well, the only custody dispute is between you and your mom. You know, and that's somewhat of a paper trail that you guys have done so you can still be the mother that you want to be. You know, your mom, granted, you don't have the best relationship with her, but she was willing to put her neck out there for you to say, hey, you know, I'm willing to put money in paper that I'm going to be the primary caregiver of these children. But she's in Chicago or wherever for 3-4 months at a time. So you got all these pressures on you as a 23-year-old young mother, you know, that's dipping and dabbling into, you know, drugs, you know, dealing with Danny, who's call it what you want, probably a heavy drinker. So you got the pressure of the world on you as a 20-year-old young lady with 3 kids in the house, an alcoholic, you know, fiance, boyfriend. So I can't imagine what it is you're going through. So naturally, all the things, you know, that develop leads for law enforcement, there's not a lot of angles for us to pursue right now. And I want you to understand that that's why we're going to have to continue to rely on you and you being truthful for us to find Quinton. Because if Quinton is dead right now, you know, there's nothing that's going to bring closure to this other than us finding him. We don't know that. But at this point, you have to understand, based off what we just walked through and we explained, that there's not a lot of angles for us to go down, other than something happened at the house that you may not be aware of. So we're asking you to take a hard look at that. Don't. I know you love Danny. We can tell you love Danny.
No, my kids more than Danny. I would make it more than Danny every single morning, and I would do anything for my babies. Every single one of them. I don't know if there was an accident that happened. I was gone for what? Total over maybe max of all the times that I left. So I don't know. Everything was normal when I came back in. There was no sudden movements. There was no awkwardness or trying to avoid me being around. There was nothing like that at all. There was nothing that would make me sit there and look at somebody and say, what the hell did you do? Nothing at all. Okay.
I know that's all.
I've given everything that I could, everything that I could that I could think of that I could clarify. I have done everything I could. I searched that place top and bottom multiple times before the cops even got there. Multiple times straight down into the woods in the back of my house. I don't know if something happened to him. I don't know if he's okay. I don't know if he's bad. I don't know if he's safe. I don't know. All I know is that I want him home. And I'm believing him whenever I got him for it. And I have. This is everything from the time that we picked him up to last night to when I went to sleep to this morning. I don't know everything I know and everything that I've seen. There was no noises that I didn't hear anything. Nothing woke me up. Nothing woke me up. Daddy saying that he did kiss me by and everything didn't wake me up. So I don't know. I really don't. I don't know what I believe that he would do something like that or do anything at all to my child. But I didn't even believe that he would leave them unattended. So I don't know. That's just another example why you need to fucking trust people, especially with your kids. Especially kids. Especially when they can't even talk to you well enough to tell you when something's happening to them.
What do you think Danny did?
Danny's never been violent. Never. I've never seen him violent. I've never, like, the most violent I've ever seen him got was here recently when he played on the horn and cussed somebody out in traffic because they almost ran into us. He doesn't even leave a red mark when he pops them. Not even a red mark. They don't leave them.
What do you have a problem with? What types of things we talk about?
Quinton had this thing about outlets. Trying to take things and put them in the outlets. Or climbing up on counters into the pantry. That was Zane. He climbed up on the counter one day, took the sink one, had sprayed a thing in there, and it was like a water park in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's things like that, just the everyday typical things that people get onto their toddlers about. Getting too close to the pool, getting too close to the stove, you know? Playing in the toilet, putting the toilet paper and stuffing it down the toilet. I've had my thing.
Call ever discipline.
Yes, and Paul will pop them too. The only people that are allowed to go into that immediate family. So Paul is uncle, he's allowed to go. Daddy's allowed to get on too. And my mom and Thomas, anybody else has to get me or no, you don't know.
Often with all of
Not often, maybe once, twice a week. And it's only like for an hour or two. Like we go get our food or grocery shopping and go back home.
them.
That's all.
Is his, can he just come downstairs or is there like a different way for him to get into y'all's area?
I know he has to come downstairs. Like there's that door entrance to the bathroom that leads out to the dining room and out back, and then the front door. So he has to come downstairs, walk around, engaging through the kitchen, through the dining room, just to get to her.
Is Paul doing the same job that y'all are doing?
Yes, he works at the same place, but he works 2 to 10. He works the second shift. Yeah. The same exact place. And if y'all need that address where we work too, I can do that.
Yes, you mentioned the reasons that sometimes, Danny will pop, like kids, getting too close to the pool, playing with electrical sockets. Those are the types of things that I'm asking you to think deep on. And when you touched Quinton, when you came home, was it any different than any other night?
The way he moved, the way he did a little with his eyes, when I touched, when you touch your face in your sleep or whatever, everything, it was just fun. It was fun.
Did you change his diaper?
No, I didn't feel it though, and it wasn't full. Like, I could still pretty much squeeze it like this, No, and then I felt it even be cheap. And then when I touched his face, he just rolled over and literally turned like one hand and the other hand like this and curled up. Curled up to it just like that. And he had his little Mickey Mouse stuffed animal thing in there with him.
I didn't make up again that night.
Where was that? Where was the Mickey Mouse and the blanket and the pillow when you got up that morning?
The Mickey Mouse wasn't in there.
You not at all.
It was like when I put him in bed last night, it was in there. When I got up this morning, it wasn't in there. I told one of the officers that too when they came in there asking if everything was there. And I was like, well, I can't touch anything, but I don't see his Mickey Mouse. His little Mickey Mouse stuffed animal, just like a regular old little Mickey Mouse. They're not big. He's helped almost everything.
Does he usually take it around with him when he's not just sleeping?
No, carry it on him. By the foot or by the seen him since the last time.
Anybody else other than you seen this?
Paul has. Paul can give you a description of him for a fact. Paul answered the door the very first time I heard him knock. So he can give you a description of his neck curly hair, brown hair. Otherwise, if I weigh 160 pounds, I may weigh a little bit more than that. I don't know.
Do you get a lot of like foot traffic right now?
No, not normally, but here recently, there's been a lot of people walking up and down the roads. A lot of people. And my babysitter can confirm that as well, that she had somebody randomly pull up into her driveway and like attempt to go into her house and through her stuff until she had turned the light on and the person ran off. So
Does Paul usually hang out at night a lot?
Paul works night shifts, and so if he does hang out with somebody, he hangs out with them before he comes home.
If you want to step out and achieve some of this, I want you to think about a couple things. One being tonight, I don't think you should go back to the house tonight.
No, I would like to request if I could go to my grandmother's house and that we would keep our phones on. I can give you her phone number as well.
We'll come back in and we'll get all that stuff.
Oh, and everybody, it's too long. I won't be able to go to sleep at night anyways. At least I can go on my knees. Right? I can go on my knees.
With the search having been done, it's not a good idea for you to go back to the house. And I think you have
No, my
an
grandma.
issue with that hotel room.
That would probably be better, honestly. I don't 30 minutes. I know my grandma. I'm there. We're going to keep Sky over there if we needed her to. I can pick up the cane and go over there and stay for the night.
At a hotel.
No, my grandma's house. It's right near Quinton.
Okay.
I was staying there for the night and then go back to the house in the morning.
If you find a hotel tonight, would you do that?
If we could find one tonight, I would prefer to be closer and then I'll be able to.
So does what we just watched there pretty much represent the end of that interview session?
Yes.
I think I'll reserve my follow-up questions for tomorrow.
Very well. And at this point, I think this will be a good time to release the jurors for the evening.
Okay, there you go, everybody. That's the end of that one. So yeah, quite interesting. I thought it was quite interesting anyway. She's a fucking psycho. McDonald's as well. Fuck. Just a reminder, tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern tomorrow. We got about probably 10 minutes to watch tomorrow before we start the trial. But yeah, and we'll come back to this one then after that as well. So tomorrow is going to be probably a little bit longer because the other trial is going on to 6 o'clock Eastern, and then we'll go on to this one. So it might be like an hour extra tomorrow. And then Thursday it'll be an early one because they are stopping the other trial at midday. Then we can jump in live then, so we'll be fine. Thank you very much, Carol. Thank you, Little G. No worries at all. Thank you, everybody. Right, I will say good night to you all because it's 1 a.m. here and I need to be up at like 7:30. So thank you, Little G. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Good night. And